This guy is a lonely virgin loser who managed to date his crush. However, when the three baddies in school suddenly fall for his negative aura, he decides to lose his V card in the most epic way by smashing all four of them at once. The series begins with Mukai Naya, who is confused about what to do as he already has a girlfriend, but another girl confesses to him. Naya says he just started going out with Saki, whom he has been close with since they were kids. After school, Saki informs Naya that she'll be heading to her club, and he promises to wait for her. She tells him it's okay if he doesn't, but he shouldn't cheat on her. Naya asks if that's what she thinks of him and apologizes for making her worry. Naya suddenly hugs Saki and lets her know that he'll love her even more so she'll never have to worry. At this point, their classmates are staring, so Saki is embarrassed and tries to push off Naya, asking him to let her go, but Naya refuses, and Saki tells him to save it until they're alone. When he finally lets her go, Saki calls him weird and says that he can't take a joke, referring to what he just did, and Naya tells her he wants to be true to his feelings. He also tells her how happy he has been since she finally accepted to date him and promises to cherish her. As Saki is leaving, Naya calls her attention and compliments her look. She also, with the same energy, thanks him. Naya is alone when the door opens, and a girl walks up to him and confesses that she likes him. Realizing that she hasn't introduced herself, the girl introduces herself as Minace, a first-year student. Minace asks Naya what he thinks of her appearance, and he admits that she is really cute. Minace then tells him that she has been working hard on her appearance because she wanted to be in the best condition for the confession. Naya is impressed and appreciates her effort. Minace also tells him that she practiced cooking for 8 hours a day because she believes the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Naya expresses his concerns for her health and asks her to take care of herself. Minace assures him that she's fine and wants him to try the food. Once Naya tastes the food, he starts crying and tells her the food is delicious but she shouldn't risk her health. Minace says it's okay, that she had fun while doing it. She also tells him that the major ingredients that she bought with her part-time earnings are the reason it tastes good. Naya is overwhelmed but appreciates her. Minace uses that opportunity to ask him if she looks attractive to him, and Naya quickly admits that she finds her really attractive. Minace is relieved and proceeds to ask him to go out with her. Naya is surprised and remembers his girlfriend, Saki, but Minace thinks his reaction is because she's not good enough. Naya immediately lets her know that he'll be happy to go out with her, but he has a girlfriend. Minace is disappointed and says she should have expected it, but she's not going to give up because he turned her down, and she'll confess to him again. As she is leaving, Naya stops her and tells her that he'll love and cherish his girlfriend forever, but he also thinks she is attractive, so he wants her in his life. He tells her he's going to date both of them because he doesn't want to betray his girlfriend, so Minace should go with him to ask Saki. Minace is surprised but agrees to give it a try. After practice, Saki is tired, and Shino tells her she did a good job. Naya interrupts them and asks to speak with Saki, and Shino teases Saki and excuses herself. Saki asks Naya what the problem is, and he introduces her to Minace. Saki is really excited and impressed with Minace's beauty, so she suggests they hang out. Naya tells Saki that there's something important he wants to share with her, but Saki refuses and insists on getting to know Minace first. They go for karaoke and realize that Minace has a bad voice. On the way back, Minace apologizes, and Saki tells her she's cute when she's embarrassed. They also play sports, but Minace is not good at it and falls. Saki compliments her underwear. When Saki tastes Minace's food, she cries as well. Then Naya asks her what she thinks of Minace, and Saki responds that she would like to marry her. Naya agrees that he understands, but Saki reminds him that he has her. Naya then proposes dating both of them. Saki is confused, and Naya explains that Minace confessed to him earlier, and the more he got to know her, the more attractive she became, and he can't think of a better solution. Saki starts to get upset, but Naya continues that he would not like to date them in secret, so he wants to date them publicly. This angers Saki, and she punches Naya and then questions why he thinks she'll be okay with it. Naya tells Saki that he feels bad about it, and Saki tells him not to do it. She then asks if she's not good enough, and Naya responds that she was, until the previous day. Saki is about to hit Naya when Minace asks them to stop. Saki questions if Minace is okay with Naya dating two girls, and Minace explains that she knows Naya won't break up with Saki, so she'll get rejected if she's not okay with it. Saki asks to know what Minace likes about Naya, and she responds that he is everything to her, and then begs Saki to agree. Saki admits that Minace is too cute, but she still disagrees, saying it's one girl for one guy and it's common sense. Naya tells Saki that not going out with Minace because it's common sense would be dishonest both to him and Saki, and lying to them would leave him with regrets, so he wants to be honest with both of them. But Saki bluntly refuses. Naya doesn't give up and asks her what he can do to make her agree, and Saki tells him no means no. Naya tries to think of a way, but Saki refuses, and they start arguing. Minace, who is quiet, starts begging Saki, telling her that she'll always cook for her. Naya also tells Saki that he'll take care of her and give her a monthly allowance. He also promises to do everything he can and tells her that he expects her to dump him, and he's sure Minace would prefer it that way. Naya then promises Saki and Minace that they'll be glad they dated him someday. Minace is touched, and Saki reluctantly agrees. Saki asks what they're supposed to do next, and Naya says that Saki and Minace would have to get to know each other, so he suggests they start living together at his place. They're both surprised, but he assures them that he stays alone. Saki declines, but Minace agrees, and Naya tells Saki that he'll inform her mom. At Naya's house, Saki is still in disbelief, and Minace says it's like a dream. Naya offers to prepare rooms for them, and Minace offers to cook. They both expect Saki to also offer to do something, but Saki tells them that she's bad at chores, so Naya tells tells her to take a break. While Minace is cooking, Saki asks for a snack, but Minace tells her that dinner is ready. Saki comments that it smells nice. She's also really excited about the food and compliments the taste. Naoya then informs Saki that her bath is ready too, and she thanks him. While Saki is enjoying her bath, Naoya suddenly opens the door and asks if she wants a back rub, but Saki declines. Not long after, the door opens again, and Saki thinks it's still Naoya but is surprised to see Minace, who asks to join her. Minace tells her that she'd like to talk to her, so Saki agrees, feeling awkward. Saki starts to admire Minace's body. Minace suddenly stops what she is doing and tells Saki that she can sleep with Naoya for the night. Saki is embarrassed and tells Minace that they won't sleep together, and Minace asks why, thinking it's because of her, and says she won't want to get in their way. Saki informs her that they've never done it before. Minace is surprised and apologizes for thinking ahead of herself. Saki says it's fine, and Minace tells her that they can make out instead, but Saki also says that they've never done that too. Saki senses that Minace is happy, but she denies it. Saki then tells her that it's not been long since they started going out, and that they've known each other since they were kids. Saki says there's no reason to rush, and Minace agrees, saying they should work on it together. Saki agrees, but then suddenly rushes out calling Naoya. She asks him how far he's willing to go with Minace, and he apologizes, admitting that he wants to. He also suggests a three-way. Saki is surprised and calls Naoya a pervert. He apologizes, claiming the thought just came to his head and it wouldn't be fair to hide it. Saki tells him that being open about it is what makes him a pervert. She also says that Minace may be adorable and have a nice body, and admits that she even gets weird feelings as a woman, but that makes it even more unacceptable. Naoya accepts and apologizes. He also says that he can't ask the same from Saki, and that it's important for the three of them to have a good relationship rather than to sleep together, so he gives up on sleeping with both of them. Minace agrees, but Saki is disappointed, so she stops him and asks if that means he's not doing anything with her either. Naoya agrees and says it would be unfaithful to Minace. He senses her disappointment and calls her out, but she denies it. He apologizes, saying that she must be curious, but Saki is embarrassed. Saki admits that she can't go through with the arrangement because there are many problems with Naoya dating both of them. She is upset that her rival, Minace, is cute and irresistible. She questions why a girl like Minace had to ask Naoya out. She remembers Naoya admitting that he wants to sleep with both of them, and she calls him a pervert. Saki assumes that Minace must be sick of Naoya because he's a freak, but Minace tells her that she doesn't mind, since it's something that Naoya wants. Saki then says that Minace is really sussy and ends up confessing that she wants to be Minace's girlfriend. Minace is surprised, and Saki realizes what she just said and admits that she is completely losing it. Saki is afraid that Naoya might lose interest in her if Minace seduces him. Upon entering the room, they're surprised to see that Naoya set up their futons close together. When Saki asks why, Naoya explains that he thought they might get closer if they talk in bed. Saki is uncomfortable, thinking that Naoya wants to do something inappropriate with Minace. However, Naoya assures her that he won't. Saki says that if she were in his place, she would have, and Naoya suggests getting his part removed. Finally, Saki agrees. She suspects that Minace might make the first move, so she decides to watch them all night. Naoya starts to thank Saki for putting up with his selfishness, but she pretends to be asleep. Minace suggests that Saki must be tired. Minace asks Naoya if she can move closer to him, surprising Saki because she thinks Minace is already making a move. Naoya assumes that Minace is feeling lonely, so he agrees. Minace is happy and tells him that sleeping with him feels like a dream, which Saki misunderstands. Minace tells Naoya that she would like to get to know him better. Naoya agrees and grabs her hand. However, Saki misunderstands Naoya's actions. When Minace comments about Naoya squeezing her hand, Saki mistakenly thinks that Naoya is squeezing her breast. Naoya apologizes and asks if she doesn't like it. Minace explains that he just startled her, but she's happy about it. Naoya tells Saki that he wouldn't mind doing it forever. Saki is upset that Naoya has not touched her yet, so she interrupts them and calls Naoya an idiot, totally misunderstanding the situation. When she pulls off the sheet and realizes that nothing is going on, she is embarrassed. Naoya questions her behavior, and she tries to cover up by saying she wants to sleep close to him, too. Naoya then assumes that Saki is lonely too, so he agrees, but Minace knows that Saki has the wrong idea. Early the next morning, Minace begins cooking while Saki and Naoya are still asleep. She expresses her happiness with the relationship and is grateful that she gets to be with Naoya and live under the same roof. Minace is worried that her relationship with Naoya won't last. She feels that if Saki changes her mind about her, Naoya would break up with her. To try to make the relationship last longer, Minace decides to become Naoya's favorite. Feeling uncertain about what to do, Minace sees Saki and Naoya's phones and decides to go through them. She assumes that playing nice won't make the relationship last. Minace hopes to find out the kinds of girls Naoya likes, but she's afraid he might have unusual tastes. So, she starts by looking through Saki's phone and gets her to unlock it. Minace believes that understanding Saki better will help her plans. Minace decides to check Saki's browser history and is shocked to find that most of Saki's searches are related to getting intimate. She immediately regrets looking. She discovers Saki's private account and reads her posts. Minace sees many angry posts about Naoya's decision to date another girl, and a post about doing it. She also finds a post that Saki made about her. In the post, Saki calls her cute and says that even though she doesn't want to share a guy with Minace, Minace is a good girl, and she'd like to get close close to her. While Menace is feeling happy, Naya calls her, startling her. Naya asks Menace what she is doing, and she nervously confesses that she was going through Saki's phone. Saki wakes up to both of them talking and asks what they're doing. She sees Menace with her phone, and Menace tries to explain, but Naya saves her by taking the blame. Saki remembers her search history and is embarrassed. She tries to explain to Naya that she was searching for a friend. Naya tells her that he doesn't care about what she may be into. He would accept her for whomever she is, and that he just wanted to know more about her. Saki gets upset and punches Naya, and Menace is worried about him and asks if he's okay. Saki heads back to sleep, saying she'll try and forget about it. Menace apologizes to Naya, and he tells her that it's fine, and he knows she did it because she was worried about him dating two girls. During breakfast, Saki compliments Menace's cooking and asks about her class. They soon realize that they are all in the same class. Naya and Saki are surprised because they have never seen Menace in class before. When Menace explains that she wanted to spend time practicing her cooking to impress Naya, both Naya and Saki are taken aback. Naya disapproves of Menace's actions and expresses concern for her well-being. He tells her that she has sacrificed too much and he worries for her. This makes Menace realize that Naya is right and she fears that he may think less of her. In an attempt to impress Naya, Menace offers him a snack, but Naya declines and tells her that they are going to spend the day studying together. Despite her fear of being a bad student, Naya assures Menace that he will not let her fall behind. He also includes Saki, who tries to sneak off in their study plans. Menace doesn't want Naya to lose faith in her, so she agrees to start learning with him, and Saki also agrees. Naya gives them an exercise to do. Saki finds it easy, finishes solving it, and Naya confirms that it is correct. He then asks Menace if she's done with hers, but she doesn't know how to begin. When Saki asks if she can't do it, Menace lies that she needs to use the bathroom. Menace is worried that Naya will think she's stupid and will lose faith in her, so she decides to check the answer online and ends up staying in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Saki and Naya are concerned about her, so they go up to the bathroom and knock, asking if she's sick. This is when Menace realizes that she's been in the bathroom for a while. She agrees that she is, and Naya wants to call an ambulance, but she says she's fine. Naya is confused and tells her that she has been in there for a long time, and Saki scolds Naya for being insensitive. Menace tries to find a way out of the situation without making Naya think she's stupid. She comes up with a lie, saying she's really backed up. Saki blames Naya, and he apologizes, but Menace says it's okay, and they leave. Menace feels that she has been able to protect her reputation, but she has lost something else. She goes back to checking the answers online, saying she'll redeem herself that way. She admits that she wants to look good in Naya's eyes to make him like her a little more and stay with her forever. After finding the answer, Menace goes back, and Naya apologizes again. She tries solving the question and confidently shows her answer, but Naya tells her she's wrong, and she's embarrassed. Naya tells her not to worry because everyone is bad at something, but he'll stick with her for as long as it takes. Menace is touched but still embarrassed, so she rushes off to the bathroom again. Before leaving for school, Saki tells them that they can't let anyone know about their relationship, so they should act as strangers. Naya disagrees, saying he won't leave Menace by herself after she missed so much of school, and they have done nothing wrong. Saki hits him and lets him know that it's because of their bad reputation. She then asks Menace if she understands, and Menace says she doesn't have any friends that she would tell, making them pity her. Saki tells Naya that if he wants to keep dating them, he has to keep it a secret, and Menace agrees. Everyone is curious about Menace but also calls her cute. A girl asks Shino if she knows Menace, and she guesses that she was absent all the while, and they wonder why. Saki feels bad for Menace, but she knows that everyone is aware of her relationship with Naya, so she doesn't want to risk it. Naya thinks that Menace is going to be alone forever, so he decides to talk to her. Menace is shocked to see him, and he introduces himself, so she introduces herself back. Realizing he can't keep up the act, Naya decides to expose their relationship. Before he can say everything, Saki punches him and sends him flying. He tells her not to stop him and tries to talk again, but she hits him again and keeps hitting him, then drags his weak body out of the classroom. On the roof, Saki scolds Naya for trying to expose them. Naya tells her that he doesn't want Menace to feel sad. Saki agrees with him but expresses her concern about people finding out that he's dating another girl. She worries that others will think he doesn't care about her. Naya reassures Saki that he still loves her and believes people would understand once he explains the situation. Saki is about to hit him when Menace intervenes. She tells them that she'll be okay and that she's happy to live together. Menace then explains that she woke up early to prepare their lunch but won't be able to eat with them. She suggests they eat together and give her feedback at home. Both Saki and Naya feel bad for her. She adds that she'll eat in the restroom to avoid others finding out that they're eating the same food. Saki and Naya start crying, and Saki apologizes for acting selfishly by pretending they're strangers. Naya takes the opportunity to ask if he can tell people about them, but Saki disagrees and suggests they hang out in secret instead. Saki suggests that they shouldn't act like strangers anymore, and Naya agrees. He says that the roof is always crowded during lunch, so they should quietly eat up there so no one would notice them. Menace feels that they're doing too much for her and says that she's already happy with Naya dating her, and it would be too much to expect to have fun together at school. Saki disagrees, and some girls hear her, so she carefully asks Menace if she didn't make lunch because she wanted to eat with them. Naya is touched that Menace is too modest, and Saki hits him to be quiet. Menace agrees that eating together would make her happy, so Saki and Naya agree that they can eat together, but a teacher overhears them and asks them to leave. They decide to find another place to have lunch, and Menace blames herself for making lunch without asking. Saki and Naya assure her that it's fine. Naya asks for suggestions, friends, and Minnie says that she knows a quiet place in school because she spent a lot of time alone in middle school, and they both feel sorry for her. She takes them to the schoolyard restroom, but Saki is uncomfortable because it stinks and says she can't eat there. Minnie tells her that the cleaners don't come there often, so no one uses it during lunch. Saki disagrees and asks for another place, so Minnie takes them behind the restroom. Saki is still uncomfortable because of the smell, and Minnie says she assumed it would be less dirty, but Saki sees a bug and is scared. Naoya asks for another place that doesn't smell, and Minnie takes them to a cleaner restroom. Saki complains, and Minnie tells her that it doesn't smell, but Saki is still not comfortable. Saki then realizes that Naoya is with them, so she pushes him out, telling him not to be in a female restroom. Minnie tells them to be careful so no one will see them, but as they step out, two girls see them and turn away, whispering to themselves, and Saki tries to tell them that it's a misunderstanding. Saki asks if there's a place they can go other than the restroom, but Minnie tells her there isn't. Naoya suggests using the gym storage room, but Minnie says there are more people there than in the restrooms. Saki reassures her that people don't go there during lunch, but Minnie still prefers the restroom because she doesn't want people to find out about their relationship due to her selfishness. Naoya consoles her, saying she's not being selfish, and even if she is, it's okay. He suggests they check if they can use the storage room, and if they can't, they'll figure something out. When they get to the door, it's locked. Naoya tries to break the lock with his fists, but it doesn't work. Saki then informs them that the window is unlocked. Naoya lets Minnie climb on him to check the condition of the room, and when he looks up to ask about it, Saki hits him, thinking he is trying to see under Minnie's skirt. They finally manage to get in and move things around to create a hiding spot in case someone walks in. After finding a spot, Naoya assures Minnie that even though they'll face a lot of problems in the relationship, he'll work hard to solve them so that she won't have any regrets. He also expresses his happiness to be with her. Minnie thanks them for letting her eat with them. Saki and Naoya compliment the food and Minnie is glad they like it. Saki says the situation is weird, but Minnie responds that it's fun to her and she'll like to do it often. Saki shows excitement with every food Minnie makes, and when she praises her, Minnie says that she wants to make Naoya happy, and he responds that he feels the same. Minnie then asks Naoya if there's anything he wants her to do, but Naoya tells her that she's already done a lot. Minnie tells him that she's ready to do any kind of job if it's money he wants. Saki imagines the kind of work Minnie means, but Naoya tells Minnie that he'll rather take the most difficult job. Saki asks them to stop, and Naoya assumes Saki feels left out, so he apologizes and promises to tell her what he likes about her every day. Minnie calls Saki lucky, and Naoya promises to tell Minnie too. Saki comments that Minnie must like Naoya to want to work so hard for him. Minnie asks Saki if she doesn't, and Saki agrees that she's doing a decent amount for Naoya. She then realizes that she hasn't been doing anything and feels that Naoya would fall more in love with Minnie, who has a nice body and does a lot for him, compared to her, who does nothing. Feeling scared, Saki leaves, saying she has to keep up with Minnie. She texts Shino to let her know that she'll skip the club meeting. Saki thinks of what to do for Naoya but can't come up with anything that isn't related to intimacy. She decides to ask Naoya if there's anything he'd like her to do, but he declines and asks her back, and she declines as well. Naoya then offers to buy her cake, to which she agrees. Saki enjoys the cake, and Naoya makes her some tea too. Saki thanks him, then realizes herself and goes to buy some groceries to compete against Minnie and make something fancy. However, she sees a pack of gummies and gets carried away. Saki realizes that she forgot to buy the cooking ingredients when she gets home, so she does and starts cooking, assuming that she just has to chop and toss things into the pot, and then decides to wait it out by watching a show. However, she completely forgets about the food until the burnt smell reminds her, and she discovers that the food is burnt. When she serves the burnt curry, Naoya tries to make her feel better by saying that burnt curry is good, and Minnie agrees. Saki fears that she is a bad girlfriend and worries that Naoya may choose Minnie over her. Feeling out of options, she tries to seduce Naoya. Naoya wakes up to find Saki on top of him, confused. She tells him that she is ready, but Naoya reminds her that they promised to wait. Saki says she'll keep it a secret from Minnie. Saki then places Naoya's hand on her breast, thinking he won't be able to resist her, but Naoya still refuses and says it would be unfair to Minnie. Instead, he offers to listen to whatever is bothering her. Saki is disappointed and questions if it's because of her size, assuming that Naoya will prefer Minnie instead. Saki leaves to her room crying, and Naoya follows her, begging. She pushes past him and leaves for her house next door. Naoya sees a message Saki left to inform him that she's going back home. Minnie overhears their argument and comes out. She asks Naoya what happened, and he explains everything to her. Minnie realizes that she's left alone with Naoya, and imagines that it could be the beginning of their life together. However, Naoya apologizes and assures her that he'll make up with Saki the next day since she's not replying to his texts, and it's late. Minnie takes her chance and asks Naoya if there's anything she can do, but he thanks her and tells her that he's not going to sleep until they make up. Naoya then decides to write Saki a love letter. The next day, Naoya calls out to Saki and asks for a chance to talk. He tells her that he wrote love letters to her and throws it to her, but she throws it back, saying she's not interested and yelling at him when he starts reading it to her. Minnie is worried about Naoya, but he tells her he's not done yet. Naoya tells Saki that he'll buy the game she loves using his savings, and if she talks to him, he'll give her access to the account. He starts making purchases but doesn't win, so Saki is not impressed and leaves. Seeing that it didn't work, he buys cake from some popular shops, and Saki is tempted but refuses. The next day, Naoya tries again, this time promising to give her a ton of cute cat and dog videos. Saki gets excited but tells him that she can find them online. Naoya is tired but won't give up. He offers Saki his organized notes, but she tells him that she's not interested and leaves. Menes asks him to take a break. The next day, Menes is worried since Naoya hasn't slept for 3 days and can barely stand. Saki tells him to have fun with Menes, and he figures that Saki is worried about her breast size, so he tells her that it does matter and his private account has all sizes, but Saki finds it gross. Menes pleads with Naoya to take a break so he won't collapse, but he assures her that he is okay. She questions if she's not good enough and promises to make everyday fun even without Saki. Naoya tells her that he is honored, but he decides that if he's to go out with both of them, he won't give up on either of them. Menes recalls that this is what she liked about Naoya, so she comes up with an idea. Menes gets Saki's attention and then places Naoya's hand on her chest. Naoya is surprised, and Saki, who is upset, jumps over to them. Menes is glad her plan worked and asks them to talk. Then Saki realizes she has been played, but it's too late. Naoya asks Saki why she left, and she confesses that she feels Menes is better than her because she does a lot for Naoya, and she can't do anything for him. She tells him that he'll be happy with just Menes soon and tries to leave, but Naoya holds her back and tells her that all she said is not true, and Menes disagrees. Naoya tells Saki that he is happy just being with her. Saki says he should tell her what to do, but he responds that she's good enough. Saki calls him an idiot and hits him. Saki remembers Naoya saying he doesn't want anything from her but goes ahead to do a lot for her and is sad. She asks Naoya why he won't ask anything of her, and Naoya tells her that there's a lot he wants from her but feels like he doesn't deserve to ask because he needs to do his best for them first. Menes tells Naoya that she understands Saki because he always tells her that she has done enough and she wants to devote 18 hours of her day to him, but Saki thinks that's too much. Saki also says that she appreciates all that Naoya has done for her but she wants to make him happy too. They both admit to being his girlfriend and say he should not take the responsibility alone. Naoya confesses that he thought he couldn't be happy until he made both of them happy because he is too timing. He apologizes and asks them to hit him and Saki does. Naoya tells Saki that that is one of the reasons he likes her and it's why she's fun to be around. Saki is surprised, and Naoya tells her all the things he wants her to do, which she agrees to. He also includes a three-way but Saki disagrees. He then says that most of all, he wants them to continue living together. Saki gives it a thought and then agrees but still makes it clear that Menes is her rival, and Menes agrees, saying she's going to put up a fight. Menes prepares dinner and tells Saki that she worked so hard on the food to celebrate her return. Saki is worried that Naoya is not joining them and Menes tells her that he stayed up to make up with her. Saki compliments the food and tells Menes that she's still her rival. However, Menes expresses her desire to be friends with Saki and admits that she likes her. Saki agrees and suggests playing a game together. Although Menes lies about having played the game before, she agrees to play with Saki. During the game, Menes fails multiple times and apologizes, but Saki reassures her and encourages her to keep playing. Despite Menes' continued failures, Saki becomes upset and criticizes Menes, who apologizes for not meeting Saki's expectations. Feeling that playing with her is not enjoyable, Menes expresses her concerns to Saki. However, Saki comforts her and takes the lead in the game. Saki then promises that they won't go to sleep until she helps Menes achieve a victory, leaving Menes worried that they won't be able to sleep at all. Saki tries to help Menes but she still keeps failing. Menes then compliments Saki for being good at the game and assumes that she must be having fun. Saki jokes that she's happy to be better at something than Menes. Saki sees an opportunity and decides to teach Menes to aim and shoot, but Menes ends up shooting Saki instead. Saki pretends to be upset at Menes and Menes tries to apologize. Saki finds the situation funny and when Menes apologizes again, Saki takes a picture of her and then tells Menes that she had fun. This surprises Menes. Saki tells Menes that she thought Menes was perfect but she has realized that she's clumsy. Naoya comes to find them playing, and Saki tells him that Menes is her cute rival. Saki suggests Menes should add her as a friend, and Menes agrees. Naoya is happy to see them getting along. Menes promises Saki that she would improve by watching some Medub videos, and Saki asks to watch too. Menes shows her the video, but Saki says she doesn't like the streamer because she uses her breasts as clickbait. Saki comments on the thumbnail, and Naoya points out their school uniform in the background. During lunch in school, Saki asks if they can play the game again when they get home, and Menes agrees, telling Saki that she has been practicing. Menes notices that the video thumbnail has been changed, confirming their suspicions. Saki mentions that anyone who has something to hide should be like them, as the door is always locked, and she's careful enough to always lock the window, which is the only way in. Just then, the window opens, and Saki realizes that she forgot to lock it. Milika is surprised as well, so they try to come up with an excuse. She assumes that they are doing something sneaky, and they deny it, but she doesn't believe them. Naoya confesses that he may be too timing, but he insists that he doesn't do anything inappropriate. Saki hits him to make him stop talking, but Milika already hears him and asks if they're all dating. They try to come up with a lie, but Naoya eventually accepts defeat. Saki starts to beg Milika to keep it a secret, but she finds their reaction funny. Menes tries to say something, but Naoya interrupts and offers Milika money, which he claims is his life-saving to keep her quiet. However, Milika tells him that she makes more than that every month. Naoya wonders how a high school student can make that much and assumes that she's into something bad. He tries to talk her out of it by warning that she may get betrayed and everything could turn out badly for her. Milika mocks Naoya for his thoughts and denies them. Naoya then questions Milika's actions, but she reminds him of his own situation. Finally, Menes gets their attention and tells Milika that she knows she's a Meduber and that the money she's referring to is from her videos. Milika is surprised that she got caught and tries to deny it, but Menes shows her a screenshot of her thumbnail that has her uniform form in the background. Milika argues that she deleted the thumbnail but then realizes that she has just exposed herself. Saki tells Milika that they're now in the same boat and Milika threatens her. Saki teases Milika, but then apologizes when Milika seems angry, saying she took it too far and they're even now. Saki promises not to tell anyone, and Naya says that even if Milika exposes them, he'll take her secret to the grave. Milika then informs them that she has made her decision. She's going to be Naya's girlfriend, shocking everyone. Saki asks what Milika is trying to achieve, and Mine suggests that Milika probably needs a man to protect her from creepy stalkers now that her identity is exposed. Milika denies it and questions why she would need someone to protect her. She tells them that she just feels it's time she gets a boyfriend. Mine and Saki do not believe her, but Naya does. Milika points out her great features and tells Naya that he'll never come across many girls as pretty as she is. Naya agrees with her and says that she's pretty, surprising Saki and Mine. He also says that he has watched a few of her videos and it would be a dream if someone like her is his girlfriend. Milika is pleased, but Naya then turns her down. Saki hugs Naya, happy with his decision. Milika is shocked that Naya rejected her, and Naya tells her he's sure she'll find a boyfriend in no time. Milika gets upset and tells Naya that she's prettier than his 2 girlfriends. Naya asks her if that's how she chooses who to date. He tells her that he wants to make his girlfriends happy. Milika tells Naya that he'll be an idiot to reject her, but Naya still rejects her. Saki tells Milika that Naya is already satisfied with the both of them. Milika then resorts to removing her jacket to show off her breasts. She tells Naya that he'll have a chance to touch them once they start dating, but Naya still refuses her. Feeling desperate, Milika tells him he can touch them, but Naya informs her that he's only interested in his girlfriend. Milika can't believe that Naya is not impressed. She feels embarrassed and defeated. They all ignore her and make to leave. Saki asks what they should have for dinner, and Milika figures they're living together and tries to ask them about it, but they completely ignore her. Saki and Mine are outside the storage room when Milika shouts, asking if they all stay together. They realize they've been exposed, so they plan to run and ask Naya to come down quickly, but Milika is faster and pushes him. Milika comes down too and tells them that she has decided to live with them too, and she'll make him see what makes her special. She offers to pay for rent and other bills, but Naya tells her that he supports a man and woman staying together if they're not in a relationship. Milika is upset and asks Naya why he's so proper when he's two-timing. Milika then leaves, promising to be back, and they suddenly realize that they have not finished their lunch. The next day after school, they get back home to see a tent in their yard. Milika reveals herself and tells them that she'll stay in the yard instead since she's not allowed inside. Naya is impressed that she came up with a solution. Mine asks Milika how she knows their address, and Milika confesses to having secretly followed them from school, but Mine tells her that is stalking. Milika ignores her and says that she'll make them regret humiliating her. She also promises to make Naya like her. Naya wonders what to do with Milika. Mine tells him that she's not going to last living in a tent, and Naya agrees. He warns Milika about the cold night, but Milika says he shouldn't underestimate her. Just as Milika said, the night is cold and she feels she'll freeze to death. She sees a bug and runs out. Naya tells Milika to quit putting herself in danger and go home, but Milika is determined to stay until he likes her. Naya lets her know that he cares about his girlfriends, but Milika feels that everyone is mocking her. She orders a more comfortable and warmer sleeping bag and is determined to kill every bug and shop for every other necessary item. Milika decides to shoot a video so she won't run out of money. She starts recording and says her goal is to survive the cold without a shirt. She starts shivering, and Naya asks why she's not covering herself. She responds that it's her cleavage that earns the clicks. Milika starts exercising to overcome the cold. She makes sure her chest is in view in every shot. However, she decides to take a break but realizes that it gets worse when she stops. Despite wanting to give up, she pictures Saki, Mine, and Naya laughing at her, which makes her determined to keep going. During her exercise, Milika takes snack breaks and continues. After what feels like an eternity, it's finally morning. Milika is happy to have survived and is even happier when she hears the delivery man. Milika asks Naya what he thinks of her effort, but he instead tells her to go home and take a shower. Saki agrees, mentioning that she smells bad. Milika confirms the smell but decides to search for an alternative way to shower. She finally finds it and follows the instructions by filling a bag with water and leaving it under the sun for 2 hours. She then sets up a rope to suspend the bag and creates holes in it, successfully creating her own shower. After getting dressed, she asks Naya if he is impressed yet, and he finally appreciates her effort, which pleases Milika. Mine and Saki try to figure out a way to get rid of Milika. Mine compliments Milika's figure and strength, and Saki gets an idea which she whispers to Mine, but Mine seems uncomfortable with it. Saki tries to convince Mine by asking her if she would like Milika to take Naya from them, so Mine finally agrees. While Naya is having his bath, he also tries to come up with a way to get rid of Milika so that his girlfriends would be happy. His thoughts are interrupted by a voice from outside the bathroom, and he recognizes it as Saki and Mine. Naya asks what's wrong, and Saki tells him that they have figured out what to do about Milika. Suddenly, they open the door, and Naya is shocked to see them in their swimsuits. Mine becomes embarrassed, and Saki tells her they have to achieve their goal. Naya questions why they are in their swimsuits, and Saki confesses that they had to act before Milika takes him away. She also says that she assumed he would like to see them in their swimsuits, but Naya disagrees. Saki is upset and pulls his cheeks, asking if he's disappointed. Naya finds it difficult to explain himself. Mine decides to stop Saki but ends up slipping and hitting Naya with her breast. She moves away quickly and apologizes but also says she'll be happy if he appreciates it. Naya is surprised that Mine feels feels that way too. Saki praises Minace for coming up with such a great idea. Minace tells her it was accidental, and Saki tries to do it too, but hers is too small. Saki's swimsuit ends up slipping, but she catches it before it falls. She asks if Naya saw anything and is upset that she gave away too much, but consoles herself that Naya would be obsessed with her. Naya tells them to focus on finding a solution to Milika. Minace confesses that Saki came up with the swimsuit idea, and even though she was against the idea, she decided to go through with it because she thinks it's important to spend a lot of time with him so that he'll like them more. Minace tells Naya that she is really happy that she got to go out with him, so she's willing to do everything she can to make it last. She also lets him know that there are a lot of important things, but they can't let their guard down when it comes to Milika, which is why she wants Naya to also look out for them. Naya realizes that Minace is right, so he agrees and suddenly starts staring at Minace's body. Minace gets embarrassed and calls him a pervert. Meanwhile, Milika is finally able to get some sleep. They find Milika cooking, and Minace realizes that Milika has become accustomed to tent life. Naya says he needs to do something about it. When Milika sees Naya, she offers him meat, but he ignores her and tells her to go home. Milika makes it clear that she's not leaving until Naya likes her. Naya tells her that he's already involved with 2 people and cannot become involved with a 3rd. Naya asks Milika to understand that he will not be able to return her feelings, but she tells him that she won't go home after being rejected by someone like him. Milika threatens to throw hot coals on Naya if he touches her tent, so Minace asks Naya to back off. Saki knows that Milika is stubborn, and Naya assures her that he'll make sure Milika leaves soon. Minace advises Naya against forcing her, saying that they'll be able to convince her over time. Saki agrees and tells Naya that they have no idea what Milika might do if they force her out. She also assures him that they'll get rid of her slowly. They notice Milika crawling away. Saki assumes that she wants to use the restroom at the nearby convenience store. Naya takes that opportunity to call a pawn shop for a pickup to get rid of her things. Minace and Saki are against the idea, so Saki stops him. Naya questions if she's okay with him dating 3 girls, and she disagrees. Naya tells her they have to get rid of Milika, and Minace asks him to calm down. Naya asks her if she's not worried that he might fall in love with Milika, and Saki reminds him that he rejected Milika when she asked him to date her. Naya reminds them that he's a 2-timer and he'd be worried if he was in their shoes. Minace agrees but says she's only a bit worried and lets her know that's why they have to hurry. Saki stops him from getting the phone, and Minace reminds him that even though it's a short time since they got together, she has seen his efforts and how serious he is with them, so they believe and trust that he's not going to be interested in Milika, and hence they're not worried. Naya becomes emotional and thanks his girlfriends for being understanding. Minace advises that they take their time in dealing with Milika. Naya then expresses his lack of confidence in not falling for Milika. Minace and Saki are left speechless. Saki approaches Naya, grabs his hand, and throws him to the ground. Naya reminds Saki that he once promised to cherish her but ended up dating Minace instead. He acknowledges his own weakness and vows to keep that in mind moving forward. He begins listing Milika's good qualities and expresses concern that if she sticks around, he might end up liking her. Therefore, he is determined to send her away and work hard to make his girlfriends happy. Saki calls Naya's attention, approaches him, and then hits him. She tells him that she is grateful he told her about his feelings before falling for Milika. Saki and Minace agree with Naya to send Milika away, and Naya thanks them. The pawn shop informs Naya that they'll arrive soon, so Minace and Saki offer to pack up Milika's things while Naya offers to distract Milika. Naya meets Milika on the way back from the convenience store and asks to talk to her, but Milika refuses and assumes he wants to ask her to go home. Milika walks past him and says that she has to come up with ways to get him to like her, and Naya follows behind trying to convince her to talk to him until he finally overtakes her and tries to ask about her parents, and Milika senses that he must be trying to hide something, but Naya tries to deny it and she doesn't buy it, so she distracts him and runs off. Milika arrives to see Saki and Minace loading off her properties, and she is upset when Naya finally arrives. Saki scolds him for letting Milika escape. Milika tries to offload her belongings, but Naya holds her back and urges Minace and Saki to be quick. Milika keeps hitting Naya to let her go, but he refuses. Milika gets an idea and starts screaming to get the attention of the neighbors, saying that she's being assaulted. The neighbors become interested and recognize Naya. Milika is happy that her plan is successful. She tells Naya that all the neighbors would assume he's a pervert and he'll become an outcast, but he tells her that if he was worried about that, then he wouldn't be 2-timing. The neighbors hear him, and Saki scolds Naya. The neighbor asks Saki to confirm it, but Saki lies. Milika then steps on Naya and asks if he knows how much her tents cost. Naya is in pain and lets go of her, but as she tries to leave, he grabs her leg, making her fall. Naya offers to pay for it. Milika lies, saying that it cost 1,000,000 yen, hoping Naya would back off. However, he agrees to pay it, promising to work hard and pay the money. In return, he asks her to stay away from him. The man in charge tells them they're done loading up and hands Milika the payment. Naya asks her to take it. Saki is happy that they've been able to get rid of Milika's things, but Milika is upset that they would go that far. She calls him a 2-timing loser, and he accepts. He tells her that he couldn't choose between Saki and Minace, which is why he has vowed to make them both happy. He says he'll do anything for his girlfriends, and Milika's heart starts racing. Saki and Minace promise to help Naya raise the money. Milika questions whether Naya is really a loser. Naya showed Milika an agreement he prepared, and Saki tells her to stop following them because they have promised to pay her. Milika tears up the paper and drags Naya away, telling them that she's never going home. They are all surprised, and when Saki asks why, Milika tells her it's not her problem. Naya says that it'll be a problem for him because she's staying at his house, and Milika Milika tells him to shut up. She said she doesn't like that they're paying her to stay away from them. Milika hears her father call out to her and is surprised to see him, and so is everyone. Milika asks how he knows her location, and he tells her that he asked around in school. He questions what she is doing there, not at home, and she tells him she is staying with Naya. She has her reasons. Milika's father asks to confirm that Naya is not her boyfriend, and Naya confirms he is not and proudly tells him that he has 2 girlfriends he deeply cares about and he is 2-timing. Saki scolds him for saying it. Milika's dad questions if Milika fell in love with a 2-timer and is staying at his place. Milika tells him that she doesn't like Naya, but she wouldn't mind trying it if he begs her, and Naya says he won't. Saki tells Minace that she thinks Milika has secretly fallen for Naya, and Minace thinks so too. They agree that it would be bad if she happens to like him, so they decide to tell Naya to make Milika go home, and he agrees. As Milika's father is scolding her, Naya interrupts them and asks them to leave. Milika's dad goes off on Naya, asking if Naya doesn't find his daughter attractive. He tells him that he raised her as best as he could as a single father. Naya tells him that Milika is attractive, surprising Saki and Minace. He also says that he admires her determination as well. He also tells him about Milika's Medu achievement. Saki is worried that Milika would fall more for Naya. Milika's father is confused about the Medu, so he searches for her and realizes the type of content Milika has and is not happy about it. He scolds her for revealing her breast, and Milika tells him that that is why she hides it from him. Saki and Minace are happy and expect Milika's father to take her home, but Naya cuts in and defends Milika. He highlights Milika's creativity and dedication and calls her a true entertainer. Saki stops him from praising Milika further. Milika is relieved, but her father tells her she has to explain the videos and sleeping out when they get home and drags her away. Milika resists and hits her dad away, and Saki thinks she's really stubborn. Milika tells her dad that the video and Naya are the only things that she's double for herself and no one can tell her what to do. Milika's father expresses worry for his daughter but tells her that if she won't stop her selfishness, he has no choice. He grabs her phone with the intentions to delete her channel. Milika is devastated and begs, but he doesn't care. He's about to confirm the action when Naya stops him despite Saki's warning call. He hands it back to Milika and tells the father that G has no idea how much work it takes for a high schooler to have a lot of subscribers and that she puts in incredible efforts, which makes her amazing. Saki and Minace are scared for their relationship, and Milika's father tries to attack Naya, but Naya stops him and says that it's Milika's choice to post her videos and he caused her trouble by selling her camping gear, but deleting her videos would be too much. Saki and Minace tries to stop Naya from doing anything that may make Milika like him, but it's too late, and Naya tells her father that he'll protect her going forward, making Milika like him more. Saki informs Naya what he just did, but he doesn't have an idea. Milika tells them she has something to think about, so he'll go home for the time being, and then tells her father that she'll disown him the next time he tries to delete her videos. Milika and her father leave, but Milika looks back and says goodbye to Naya, leaving Saki and Minace wondering how ugly things will get when Milika gets in the picture. Saki and Minace realize that Milika is in love with Naya, but it doesn't seem like Naya has noticed. Minace is worried that Naya might accept Milika if she confesses to him. Saki says they have to do what they can, but they have no idea what to do. Saki leaves to go home briefly. She is annoyed by Milika, and also Minace, who is really devoted to Naya too. She doesn't know what she can do. At home, Saki informs her mom that she just came to pick up some clothes. Her mom asks her about her relationship with Naya, to which she replies that it's not bad. Her mom begins to tease her about doing it with Naya, but soon realizes that they haven't done it. This surprises her and she questions if Naya has no sex drive. Saki's mom wonders how Naya could possibly hold back when he's living with such a cute girl. Saki remembers that there have been a lot of tempting situations, but Naya is too rational. She panics as she thinks she's going to spend her whole life like that. Her mom comforts her, assuring her that her cuteness can awaken the man within him. Saki resolves to keep fighting. At Naya's place, Saki calls to Naya from outside the door. She asks if Minace has gone to bed and is satisfied when he confirms that she has. She slowly walks into the house. Naya's jaw drops as he takes in her full outfit. Saki is dressed in a bunny girl outfit. He questions the outfit and Saki coyly asks what's wrong with it, adding if he's turned on. Naya says he's flustered instead. Saki is surprised and wonders if it isn't as good as she thought, adding that her mom said it'd work for sure. Naya is surprised at her mom. Saki asks if she is not cute. He replies that she's cute as hell. She's excited and asks if he likes bunny girl outfits, to which he affirms after taking another look. She probes further, asking if he doesn't feel like pushing her down. Naya is flustered and says he wouldn't do that. She accuses him of dead desire, but he reminds her that they promised they wouldn't do that stuff. Saki insists, saying that despite the promise, if there was a cute bunny girl in front of her, she'd definitely do her. Naya is surprised and asks if she likes guys who break promises. She says that's not the point and pushes him to the ground. She does not like that he's keeping the promise like it's the only thing to do. She orders him to get aroused and just barely hold back. Naya notices the cloth dropping from her breast and holds it in place. Saki misunderstands his action and hits him across the face. She says she told him to hold back and calls him a perv. He questions why she looks happy, but she just gets up and leaves, calling him a perv getting turned on by a bunny girl. He decides to let it be, as long as she's happy. Meanwhile, Saki begins searching for her next outfit. During breakfast, Saki is bubbly and Minace does not understand why. Saki offers to help her do the dishes after, but she politely refuses. She asks if anything good happened, to which Saki giggles and replies that it's not a big deal. Saki steps out for a little stroll and Minace goes to do the laundry. She's still wondering if something happened the previous night. Her thoughts are interrupted when she sees Saki's costume in the laundry basket. Minace confronts Naya with the outfit. He denies that anything special happened but says that the bunny outfit was excellent, it was cute and enticing. Minace asks if he called Saki cute a lot, and he replies that he did with all his heart. She gets even more annoyed and asks if he likes cosplay. He says he doesn't have enough experience to say, but it's possible. She leaves and returns with her outfit, a maid costume. He questions why she has that and she defends that it was an impulse buy. She couldn't decide what to bring to his place so she bought it. She asks for his thoughts on it, and he asks her to try calling him master. She does, and Naya is literally blown away by how adorable she is. She makes him tea, gives him a massage, and offers to watch over him from nearby. Naya loves her cuteness, and Minace is pleased. She offers to do anything for him. He questions if she really means anything, and she's flustered but says she's prepared. He says he wants her to be his maid once a week. He adds that she's such a cute maid and it would kill him if that was the only time. Minace is happy. She asks him to pat her head and he does. She's excited and calls him master. He calls her maid Minace. During dinner, Minace is bubbly. Saki does not notice as she is still in a good mood and so concentrative on her food or thoughts. Minace asks if Naya wants seconds, referring to him as master. He agrees and she goes to get it. Minace realizes her mistake just as Saki realizes what she heard. However, she dismisses it as just hearing things. Minace is relieved. In school the next day, Milika is standing outside Naya's class. Some boys are admiring her but she's occupied with thoughts of how Naya saved her from her dad. She forcefully refuses to be in love with him, a two-timer. Saki sees her and questions why she's there. Milika says she needs to talk to Naya. Shino asks if Saki knows her but Saki does not recognize the name Shino called Milika. She begins to call the name she knows but Milika immediately stops her. She doesn't want to be called Milika, but Rika. Saki uses the chance to ask about her crush on Naya, but Milika denies it. Saki asks her to stop denying it but Naya comes out and asks what's up. Milika is nervous but manages to say hi. Saki thinks she's so obvious. Milika asks Naya to go with her somewhere to talk. Saki does not want to allow it but Naya says it's alright and goes with Milika. Other students stare and wonder why he's with Milika but Milika is busy blushing because he called her Rika. On the rooftop, Naya apologizes first for everything. She's surprised and asks what he's apologizing for. He replies that she offered to be his girlfriend but he, a two-timing jerk, turned her down. He takes off his clothes and asks her to take embarrassing pictures of him and spread them on the internet as revenge for humiliating her. Milika is speechless but secretly admires how thoughtful and cool he is. He says she did nothing wrong. She immediately tells him not to touch her, but she is turning red inside. Naya tells her she's cute, her videos are so good, and she has a huge bust, but he just has two precious girlfriends. Milika is sad but thinks he has so much backbone. He offers to help her find a good boyfriend. He adds that he'll make it up to her and pleads that she stops trying to make him fall for her. She's way too attractive so he can't fall in love with her and become a three-timer. Milika falls to the ground. He's throwing so many hints at her, confirming that he has said all he had to say. She says it's his turn to hear her out. She thanks him for not letting her dad delete her MeTube account. He says she didn't have to, but she insists that it was really important to her. She tells him her dad keeps going on about how she won't have many options if she doesn't study, but she doesn't feel like she should be doing something she doesn't want to and she didn't have anything going for her, so she did what she could. She started making videos to have some independence. Naya questions if she wasn't just showing off her huge boobs. She denies it but accepts that she did use it for clickbait, and she has a lot of haters, but she works hard on her ideas to make it a good channel. Her MeTube is finally yielding results. She has put so much into it and it's been really important to her, but he protected it even though there was nothing in it for him. She says she really appreciated it. Naya understands her and says he's glad he managed to save it. Milika is flustered and runs away. He tries to stop her. He isn't done talking. Milika tries to catch her breath at the stairs. She finally accepts that she's in love with Naya. Saki witnesses it as she has been standing at the top of the stairs the whole time. She cusses at Milika. Meanwhile, Minace worries if Naya is alright. Milika walks into Naya's class. Saki isn't happy to see her and asks what she wants from Naya. Milika questions if she needs to have a reason to come. The other classmates are surprised and one of them asks what Naya's relationship with Milika is. Naya hesitates, and Milika replies saying they're in a serious relationship, but quickly adds that it's a joke. Saki is bothered that Milika's breasts are pressing against Naya. She grabs them and asks Milika to stop shoving her nasty breasts at Naya. Milika steps away to get out of her grip and Saki uses that opportunity to get between them and warn Milika to stay away from Naya, calling her a slut. Milika is offended and says it's none of Saki's business. Saki claims to know what Milika is trying to do, recalling her confession at the stairs. She adds that there's no room between her and Naya for Milika. Milika goes closer to her and whispers that he's already two-timing Saki with Minace. Saki gets furious. She warns Naya to be careful and says he needs to stay by her side while in school. Milika thinks she still has plenty of opportunities, so Saki instructs Naya to never leave her, even for a second. Naya realizes that Saki must be feeling lonely because she's worried about him three-timing her. He immediately hugs her and apologizes, promising to stick by her side. Saki says that's not what she meant. He asks if she did not like it and she looks at Milika's expression, feeling satisfied, and asks why she wouldn't. Milika is embarrassed and runs out of the classroom, promising to be back. The teacher wants to start the class, but Naya still has Saki in a tight grasp, sitting on his lap. Naya tells the teacher not to mind them and that Saki is just feeling a little lonely. Saki is embarrassed because the whole class is staring at them. The teacher starts the class. Saki asks if they'll really go through class like that. Naya says she doesn't need to be modest and she argues that's not really the point. Saki feels happy happy though. It's been a while since they've been alone together. She did feel lonely because she was worried about Milka, but she's still embarrassed. Naoya's eraser falls, and he bends to pick it up. His other hand raises and touches Saki's breast. She's flustered and he immediately apologizes. Menace is jealous. After the class, Naoya and Saki are still sticking together. Saki informs Naoya that the next class is PE. He asks if they should get changed together. Saki blushes and immediately refuses the idea. Milka walks in just at that moment and says it's time to hand Naoya over. She's borrowing him. Saki grabs her gym wear and drags Naoya with her as she leaves the class. They break into a run in the hallway, with Milka following behind. Menace is concerned about them and takes out her phone to send a message. Saki and Naoya run into the broadcasting room and lock Milka out. Naoya offers to watch over Saki, but she commands him to close his eyes. Milka gets a message which makes her panic. While starting to change, Saki thinks that though she hates to admit it, Milka is cute. If she falls for Naoya and tries to get with him, she might take him. Naoya suggests that he should wait outside. Saki panics him and holds him back, asking him not to go. Naoya tells her that he can see her undies. Saki is embarrassed and immediately turns away. He agrees to stay put. Saki remembers that she used to take baths with him when they were little. She tells herself that being in her underwear in a confined space is no big deal. She gets a text from Menace informing her that she sent an anonymous DM to Milka on Twitter saying she should come to the roof if she doesn't want people to know she's a student at their school, so Saki should be safe now. Saki immediately goes out to check and truly, Milka is gone. She is grateful to Menace. Meanwhile, Milka gets to the roof but sees no one there. Saki is done changing and goes out to meet Naoya. He tells her that he thinks she's cuter than ever today. Saki is happy. Menace thinks to herself that she has to take care of Milka. At home, Saki is discussing with Menace and wonders who embarrasses his girlfriend like that in front of people, but Menace thinks it's amazing. She says she wishes she could be embraced so passionately by someone she loves. Saki says Menace is damn pure and endearing. Menace adds that it's quite embarrassing in front of other people though. Naoya arrives and asks what they're talking about. Saki replies that they were talking about how Menace wants to be embraced by him. Naoya asks Menace if he should embrace her, but she refuses, saying she wouldn't want to put Saki in such a position. Saki is surprised. Menace asks if she wouldn't hate it if Naoya hugged anyone other than her, but Saki denies it, saying she's not that petty. She says Menace has already decided to be in the relationship with them, so she better not hold back like that. She thinks winning against a rival who holds back for her sake wouldn't make her happy. Saki attempts to leave so they can have some privacy, but Naoya stops her. He thinks he'll make her anxious, doing it when she's not looking, so it's better she stays to watch him embrace Menace. He asks if it's okay with Menace and she agrees. Saki then watches them through the half-open door. Naoya hugs Menace a little, then turns to ask if Saki is alright. Saki is annoyed and says he should quit asking her every time. He hugs Menace once more, then asks how it was. She says she's embarrassed but really happy. They stare and call each other's names, then hug again. Menace asks him to hold her tighter and he does. Saki is anxious. She thinks Menace's curvy body is bewitching her. Naoya. She claims she can't stand being made to watch, but she can't look away, and she's feeling kinda excited. She panics, wondering if she's messed up and has the NTR fetish she's heard about, but she refuses to believe it. There's no way she has such a twisted kink. She thinks she's just getting worked up because she doesn't see a guy and a girl hugging very often, and that she's not feeling things because Menace might take Naoya away from her. Menace falls to the ground, sitting. Naoya is concerned if she's alright. She tells him that was a little too much for her heart. Saki sees their position and thinks she's about to go NTR for real. Naoya asks Menace if she really is alright, and she confirms that she is. Saki panics. She overthinks about what could happen if she doesn't stop them. She can't stand the thoughts anymore and goes into the room. She's furious and gives Naoya an uppercut, throwing him off Menace. She then calls Menace a pervert. On the way home from school the next day, Milka tags along with Naoya and Saki. She attempts to make a conversation with Saki and tries to include Naoya. Saki thinks her offensive is getting more aggressive by the day. Milka asks Naoya about his hobbies. He says he has nothing in particular and he's always studying whenever he has time. She then offers to get him to help her study sometime. Saki informs her that Naoya's grades aren't that good, considering how much he studies. He adds that he's never been in the top 5 in class. Milka is so impressed that he still works so hard. She thinks it's so badass. When they get to the house, Saki blocks Milka from entering. She asks Naoya to get inside, then goes in after him and shuts the door against Milka, who is furious. They meet Menace, who walks home separately. She asks Naoya what's wrong. Naoya says it's something he noticed, rather, something he's been thinking about lately. He says he knows there's no way and he's probably just self-absorbed, but asks if they think Milka might be attracted to him. Both girls panic. Saki asks for a timeout and drags Menace to the corner to talk. They agree that if Naoya finds out about Milka's feelings, it'll increase the chances of him 3-timing them, so they have to fool him to the best of their abilities. They return and Saki tells Naoya that she'll be brutally honest. She says he's full of himself and maybe got the wrong idea because Menace confessed to him. She continues that he's average, is not particularly good looking and has no talent. She says he's just straight-laced and shouldn't think he can be popular. Naoya agrees with her. She adds that what happened with her and Menace was just a fluke, They just happened to like him by luck, and he should know his place. Naoya then asks about the reason Milika always blushes when she's around him. Saki replies that she's in heat. She says Milika cannot control her desires and he's not special to her because she will do anyone since she's being controlled by her desires. Naoya is in disbelief, but she convinces him further, saying that it happens to girls occasionally. Naoya says he never knew. Minace is surprised at how trusting he is. He believes it, saying it was kind of weird that she'd blush no matter what he'd say. Saki confirms that he's right but thinks that he's actually just gullible. He suddenly realizes and asks if it happens to them too. Saki says it depends on how big your breasts are, so she's in the clear. Naoya turns to Minace in concern. He asks her to let him know if she's ever in heat and shouldn't deal with it herself. He adds that judging from how Milika's acting, it seems really rough and it's probably brutal for Minace too. He says he doesn't know what he can do for her but they can overcome it together. She's in a spot and looks at Saki. Saki winks at her to play along, so she does. She says she's counting on him when it does happen. Naoya returns to talking about Milika. He says it makes sense because there's no way she would have been attracted to a guy who has 2 girlfriends, and that he also thought about what he would do if she really did like him. The girls fake laughing along with him. The next day in school, Milika comes to Naoya's class again. She admires how hardworking he is. Saki is worried but believes it should be alright since she already convinced Naoya yesterday. Milika brings up the idea again of him helping her study and asks if he has time after school. Naoya stands, saying he needs to apologize to her. She asks what for. Saki and Minace panic but he just apologizes for thinking she might have a crush on him. Milika is speechless. Saki and Minace are worried that she might confess, but as she looks around, students are staring. She's embarrassed and drags Naoya out of the classroom. Milika drags Naoya to the roof. Saki follows them out to the roof while Minace watches from the door. Milika's mind goes wild wondering how Naoya found out. Milika asks how he knows. He replies that her face is always red when she's around him, and she's been acting strangely, leading him to mistakenly believe that she might like him. She is devastated, but then suddenly realizes something and asks why he used the word mistakenly. He explains that Saki told him it's something that happens to girls sometimes, that she's just in heat. Milika is angry that he could be so foolish as to believe such nonsense, but Saki insists that Milika is embarrassed about it and lying. Milika tries to defend herself, but Naoya presses her to explain why her face is red. She contemplates confessing to him but hesitates when he remarks that there's no way she would fall for a 2-timing crappy guy. It would be pretty messed up, and she doesn't seem like that kind of person. Milika insists that she's not messed up and that she's not in heat either. She tries to make an excuse, claiming she has a bit of a cold, but Naoya points out that she appears to be fine for someone who is sick. Saki whispers to him that it's embarrassing to admit being in heat, and that he should try to understand. Realizing this, he agrees with Milika about her having a cold. Still, Milika senses that something isn't quite right. Naoya offers to help her find a boyfriend to repay her for the tent, but she doesn't want him to do that. He adds that she can find some relief with him, causing Milika to punch him as she realizes he still thinks she's in heat. She says she doesn't care anymore and then asks what he would have done if she really did like him. Naoya replies that he would have been flustered, but he would have turned her down because he wants to take good care of his 2 girlfriends and make them happy. Milika pushes them out to return to class, deciding to stay on the roof. She realizes that Naoya isn't interested in her as a potential girlfriend, which angers her. Gaining confidence, she reminds herself that she's the Milika and has succeeded with her MeTube channel, so there's no reason she can't make Naoya fall for her. She vows to use any means necessary and try as many times as it takes. Saki and Minace are feeling happy, thinking that the Milika issue has come to an end. Suddenly, Milika bursts into the classroom and loudly confesses her feelings for Naoya, surprising everyone. Naoya, taken aback, asks if he heard her correctly and has her repeat it. Shouting in disbelief, he questions what she really means. Unable to handle the situation any longer, Milika pulls him out of the class again. Saki and Minace follow them, while Shino looks on, concerned for her friend. They go to the storage room, where Saki confronts Milika. Milika responds by saying that it's her way of fighting, and that she's not afraid of being embarrassed or confessing her feelings. She tells Naoya that she won't ask him out immediately. Instead, she'll keep flirting with him until he falls for her. Naoya then asks Milika why she likes him. She didn't expect this question and stutters a bit before saying that she found him attractive when he saved her from her dad. Naoya points out that she's being too easy, as anyone would have helped her in that situation, so she shouldn't fall in love just because of it. Milika counters by mentioning that he also tried to pay 1 million yen for Saki and Minace. Naoya replies that anyone would have done that too. Milika disagrees, saying he's weird for thinking that way. Naoya retorts that she is even weirder for liking someone who's dating 2 girls. Milika agrees, asserting that no matter what he says, it's a fact that she likes him. Milika feels disappointed in herself for developing feelings for him. He tells her again that he's busy making sure Saki and Minace are happy, and asks her to stop. In frustration, Milika hits him. She insists it's her own business if she likes him. He offers to find her a boyfriend again, but she confesses that her mind is now consumed with thoughts of him. She thinks about him all day, at home, at school, and while recording videos. She constantly wonders what he's doing and what he's thinking. The idea of him having fun with Saki and Minace makes her feel angry and lonely. In a moment of impulsiveness, she grabs Naoya and kisses him. Naoya Naya is too stunned to respond. Minace is surprised, and Saki is furious. Milika says that now Naya will have a hard time not thinking about her too. She also reveals that it was her first kiss and makes it clear that she isn't interested in a relationship with all three of them. If he ever decides to date her, he'd better break up with the others because she wants him all to herself. Then she walked away. Meanwhile, Shino, who had been eavesdropping, now knows that Saki is being two-time. Back at home, Milika has a meltdown about not only her confession but also the kiss with Naya. Minace, Naya, and Saki sit quietly on the hill watching the sunset. Saki asks Naya how it felt to be kissed by another girl in front of his girlfriends. She adds that it makes her really sad. Naya responds that he felt uneasy. Saki continues, expressing her frustration that she is supposed to be his girlfriend, yet he wants to date another girl at the same time. Now, another girl has taken his first kiss. She questions whether she has done something to deserve this, wondering if it's because she has small breasts. Minace takes over. She says that Saki told her she hadn't kissed him yet, so she never thought of doing it behind her back or anything, but she fantasized about being his first, and it was just a fleeting dream. Naya finally speaks. He says he's really flustered about the situation, but asks if Saki wants to kiss. She hit him and says of course she does. He asks Minace and she says she doesn't want to at that time. She's shocked that Milika kissed him first, but she doesn't want to kiss to make up for it. Saki agrees with her. Naya tries to defend his situation, so Saki asks if he was turned on when Milika kissed him. Naya replies that he was too surprised to feel anything. Saki then comments that a kiss without the right mood or emotion is worthless, and Minace agrees. Saki insists that they need to have a memorable kiss, especially since she's competing against Milika. She emphasizes that their first kiss is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. She reminds Naya that he has liked her since elementary school and has years of pent-up feelings. It's in that moment of realization, when he truly loves her and thinks she's cute, that they should kiss when they are both genuinely excited. She assures him that she will make it unforgettable. Minace adds that for her, the kiss should happen when he really desires her. Once they reach that point, they can kiss and explore even more together. Saki tells her that's enough. Naya bows to the ground and apologizes, explaining that he didn't understand what a kiss means to either of the girls. He shares that he has finally figured out one thing he can do for them. Despite being injured and bleeding, he reassures them that it doesn't bother him, but they remain concerned. Saki offers him a kerchief to apply pressure to his wound. Naya tells them that this isn't just about dealing with Milika, rather, he needs to cherish and grow closer to them. It's something he has always wanted. He expresses his desire to be so close to them that, if Milika were to see them together, she would want to give up. More than anything, he wishes to become that person. Then he declares that he loves them both. The girls are taken aback and feel awkward. Naya continues that they have to gain experience to get closer, and to learn how to react to things and how they feel about all kinds of situations. He suggests that they should go on a date. The girls agree with the idea. Saki proposes visiting a hot spring, while Minace mentions she wouldn't mind going somewhere nearby. Naya assures them that he'll figure out the details. After school, Saki is excited to go shopping with Naya and Minace. Before they can leave, Shino asks Naya to talk, but Saki interrupts and takes Naya away. Saki talks non-stop about the things she needs to buy for the trip and mentions that things have been tough lately, referring to Milika kissing Naya. Naya apologizes, and Saki expresses her disgust for kissing. She then tells Minace that the trip should be casual. Minace understands and agrees. As they leave, Milika, who is nearby, wonders what they're up to. While shopping, Minace thinks that the trip might be a good opportunity to get closer to Naya, despite Saki's intention for it to be casual. She is determined not to lose her relationship and hopes that she might get to kiss Naya on the trip if everything works out. She spots some fresh breath candy and decides that it would be helpful if she needs to freshen her breath. Just as she reaches for it, Saki, at the same time, grabs another one next to it. Busted, they both realize that they had the same thing in mind. Minace tries to explain herself, but Saki reminds her that she is Naya's girlfriend as well and nervously tries to brush it off. Saki gives up and reveals her true intentions. She says she was trying to get ahead and thought Minace would stay put if she asked her to. She also reveals that she wanted to kiss Naya first to feel superior to Minace and apologizes. Minace apologizes as well, saying that Saki has to kiss Naya first, but Saki tells her it won't count, as Milika already did, so it's okay even if Minace gets ahead of her. Minace refuses and declares her support for Saki, saying she won't be able to face Saki if she kissed Naya first. Minace takes Saki shopping for clothes for their trip. She chooses a simple shirt for herself, explaining that she's intentionally picking plain clothes to make Saki stand out. Saki disagrees, but Minace insists and decides to help choose for Saki as well. After Minace picks out an outfit for Saki, Saki thinks it's tacky and questions Minace's fashion sense. When Naya meets up with them, his reaction confirms Saki's feelings. As they head back, Saki admits that they've been through a lot and should make the best out of the trip. Milika, who has been spying on them, peeks out, and Naya senses that he's being watched, so he stops to check, unbeknownst to Saki and Minace. Minace reassures Saki that she will have her back on the trip, and Saki finally agrees after confirming that Minace means it. Saki suggests that they should should walk together on the trip. They finally notice Naya is not with them and call out to him to join them. They all set their priorities. Saki aims to get closer to Naya, Minace plans to support Saki, and Naya promises to do everything he can for both of them. Milika figures out their plan and decides to go with them. At home, while Saki is packing, she receives a call from Shino. Shino asks about the trip, and Saki reveals her plans and the trip location. Shino ends the call, determined to find out if Naya is two-timing her friend, Saki. The next day, Naya meets Saki and Minace, who are waiting outside. Naya compliments them both, leaving them stunned. On the train, Naya expresses disbelief about going to the hot spring with both of them and says he's happy. He also thanks them for continuing the relationship even after he let his guard down and got kissed by Milika. Naya reveals his plans to make the vacation enjoyable for both of them, to the extent that Milika would give up. This declaration draws the attention of the other passengers on the train. When Saki and Minace react with surprise, he assumes it's not what they want and thinks they hate him. He declares that he would make them love him again, attracting even more attention. After they assure him that they still love him, Saki reveals her plans to stay ahead of Milika by working really hard on them. They arrive at their stop, and Naya comes up with an idea to get closer to both of them. Since they don't need to worry about being seen, he grabs both Saki and Minace's hands, surprising both the girls and the passersby. He admits that he was so anxious about getting caught that he couldn't hold their hands earlier, and he believes that physical touch is also a form of communication. Saki is concerned about how people will react, but Naya tells her not to worry because what happens there stays there. He also says they should do everything so they won't have any regrets. After getting confirmation from Minace that she's okay with it, they move on to their next destination. Naya continues to hold their hands on the next train, and when they get off, they attract people's attention. He then asks how they feel, and Minace says he's happy, but Saki tells him that she feels embarrassed, and he tells them that holding their hands is his way of flirting. Naya comforts Saki on the way, saying that other people are flirting as well. They see a couple in front of them discussing what they'll do when they get to their hotel, and Naya recalls Saki's words on the train. He asks if that's what she meant, and she denies it, claiming that she just hoped they could kiss, which Minace confirms. Naya asks about what they'll do after the kiss, and Saki tells him she has thought about it a little, surprising both Naya and Minace. They finally arrive at the vacation inn, and Minace thinks it looks expensive. As they decide to head in, Milika jumps out from a nearby bush, surprising them. She confirms that she followed them, and just as Saki is getting angry, she hears Shino call her name. Saki asks why Shino is there, and Naya assumes that Shino is on vacation too. Shino ignores Saki and asks Minace why she is with them. Saki tries to lie, but Shino asks her if Naya is two-timing. As the anxiety builds up and they fear Shino might tell on them, Minace comes up with an idea. She grabs Milika and tells Shino that they came together and just happened to run into Naya and Saki. Milika wants to deny, but Minace blackmails her with her Metube thumbnail, and Milika immediately plays along. They flee the scene, and Naya and Saki do the same, leaving Shino. They all reach their rooms, catching their breath. Naya suggests that they should be honest with their relationship, and Saki remembers Minace. Just as Naya and Saki are getting worried, Naya receives a message from Minace saying that she plans on staying with Milika to keep her in check and also avoid Shino. She ends by urging Naya and Saki to enjoy their trip, but Naya doesn't want that and is bent on spending the vacation with both girlfriends. Minace is about to join Milika for a hot bath when Milika asks who Shino is, and Minace tells her. Milika thinks of a way to see Naya as she hasn't given up. Just then, Naya pops up above the fence, startling both girls. He is there to take Minace and reveals that he walked across the roof to avoid being seen by Shino. After a series of arguments, with Naya urging Nagisa to follow him and she refusing because of the risk of being seen by Shino, Nagisa remembers the promise she made to Saki and goes back into her room, locking Naya out. Milika, who is still outside, takes the opportunity and pulls Naya into the hot bath, telling him she's going to seduce him. Shino's suspicion has grown since her encounter with Naya, Milika, Minace, and Saki. She now believes that Saki is being cheated on and is determined to help her friend. Milika is holding Naya hostage and refuses his requests to leave and go after Minace. Naya asks Milika what her plans are, and she tells him that she wants to make him obsessed with her. Naya is scared, thinking that Milika wants to show him her breasts and make him touch them, but Milika tells him that it's for when they start dating, and doing something like that would be embarrassing. As they continue to talk, Milika recalls the kiss and asks Naya if it made him obsessed and got him to think about her, but he says it only surprised him, which upsets Milika. As she sulks over how her first kiss only amounted to a surprise for him, Naya steps out of the bath, attempting to go find Minace, but Milika stops him. She is serious this time and asks to talk with him. She tells him that she wants him to get to know her because that's the only way he'll be interested in her, and that she wants to know him too. Milika promises not to do anything weird. Naya apologizes, saying he still has to go after Minace, but Milika stops him again and asks for a little time, saying she'll do whatever he asks next time. Naya agrees and grants her 5 minutes. Milika times the conversation using her phone and gets comfortable. She begins by introducing herself, telling him her name and that she's a Meduber, and he tells her his name too. She tells him her favorite thing and asks about his, and Naya says it's banana, which Milika finds funny. They talk about their likes and dislikes, and the conversation goes on. Milika tells tells him about her dream of excelling as a Meduber and asks Naoya what his dream is. Naoya is frank and reveals his dream is to make both Saki and Nagisa happy, and Milika doesn't feel quite good about this but compliments his honesty. Their conversation continues for a while, with the timer still counting. Milika says she spends all her time on her Medub videos and asks what Naoya does in his spare time. Naoya replies that he watches Medub as well, particularly her videos. He admits the videos are fun to watch, and Milika says she thought he had stopped watching them after what happened between them. She feels happy and thanks him. Just then, the timer goes off and she tells him he's free to go. As Naoya makes to leave, Milika's towel falls, and Naoya apologizes and quickly jumps over the fence as Milika gets into the bath to hide herself. As Naoya runs back on the roof, still aiming to get to Minace, he slips off and falls into another private bath. He is surprised to see Shino, who is planning to use the bath. She's also surprised to see him, and her surprise soon turns to anger as she calls him a pervert for barging into the women's baths. Naoya tries to explain, but Shino sees this as a good opportunity and questions him about his relationship with Saki and if he's two-timing her. Back in the hotel, Saki wonders why Naoya is not back and also worries about Minace. She then happens to come across Minace and asks her about Naoya. Still conscious about not letting Shino see them together, they decide to find a more private place to talk. Naoya is still being interrogated by Shino. He remembers his promise to Saki about not letting anyone know about their relationship with Minace, so he tries to evade her questions by asking her why she cares so much. Shino replies that Saki is her friend and questions if he wouldn't do the same for his friend. Naoya agrees but also tells her that it's a matter of personal freedom. She agrees but tells him that it doesn't apply to Saki because she's a pushover and would go along with being two-timed if she is begged, so Shino feels the need to intervene. Naoya, realizing she's right, agrees with her, and Shino states a couple of downsides to two-timing as Naoya tries to argue. The conversation finally ties down to whether or not Naoya is two-timing Saki, and Naoya tries to escape by climbing over the fence. Shino grabs Naoya by his trousers to stop him and threatens to raise an alarm if he doesn't tell her the truth. Naoya tries to climb over the fence, and Shino keeps on pulling him back and asking more questions. Naoya tells Shino that her towel is coming loose, but she tells him that she doesn't care anymore. Shino remembers Milika and asks if Naoya is three-timing, and he denies. And Naoya's hands finally slip off the fence, and they both fall. Just then, Saki and Minace walk in. They are trying to avoid suspicion from Shino but didn't know they'd find her here. Saki and Minace are surprised to see Shino and Naoya in a suspicious position, with Shino's towel off and Naoya's pants down. Saki and Minace read the obvious meaning and freak out. Shino attempts to explain, but Naoya drags her down, saying she's exposing herself. Saki bursts out in tears, saying Naoya kissed Milika and now he's with her best friend. Shino is upset to hear that, and Naoya tries to explain. Everyone is surprised when Minace suddenly starts taking pictures of Shino and Naoya. Minace tells Shino that she isn't in a relationship with Naoya and Saki and asks Shino to stop questioning them. Shino is angry and asks if Minace is threatening her. She realizes she's naked, and Naoya apologizes for looking. Shino is embarrassed and finally runs off. Saki is relieved to know what she assumed of Naoya, and Shino wasn't true but hits him for being in the women's bath with his trousers down. Minace is relieved that Shino won't bother them again. She tells them that she'll be heading back to Milika's room because their relationship will get complicated if she's in the same room as them. Naoya and Saki try to persuade her, but she says it's fine, and Naoya says she's acting weird, recalling that she avoided him earlier. Saki assumes it's because of the promise Minace made to her to support her, but Minace disagrees and says that she's acting in her own favor. She believes she came between Saki and Naoya and knows Saki won't appreciate it if she keeps making moves on Naoya. Minace expresses that she wants her relationship with Naoya to last and is trying to prevent people from figuring out that Saki is being two-timed. She asks them not to worry about her because it's her decision. Naoya tries to convince Minace otherwise and throws away his pants because they were limiting his movement. Saki scolds him to put his pants back on and also not to grab a girl's shoulder with his pants down. As they argue, two girls barge in and are surprised to see Naoya in the women's bath. After punching Naoya and throwing his pants to him, the girls run out apologizing for their intrusion. Minace is about to leave as well, but Saki stops her and tells her that she's not okay with Minace's decision to leave and that Minace is holding back too much. Minace decides to confide in Saki, telling her not to tell Naoya about it. They both step into the bath and Minace begins. She reveals that she always has a way of screwing things up. She explains that she wasn't good at anything and had to study twice as much as others to get an average grade. Everything she does takes much more effort than everyone else. She also tells Saki that she has tried a lot of things to find something she's good at and spent a lot of time on them, but she never got very good, and she always felt sad about herself until the summer exams when she met Naoya. Minace tells Saki about how she met the love of her life, Naoya. It was during the summer entrance exams when she first saw Naoya. He told Saki that if they both got into high school, she should go out with him because he liked her and they could become a beautiful couple. Saki was not impressed and responded by giving him an uppercut, pushing him away. She explained that she was focused on the exams, had already forgotten some English words, and was worried she might fail because of his confession. Naoya apologized and said he would take responsibility, adding that they would get married. This further angered Saki, who was trying to escape from him. Minace thought Naoya didn't know when to give up. If anything, he was raising the stakes even higher. Then, Minace overheard Shino talking about Naoya. Apparently, he had been confessing to Saki every months since elementary school. Minis couldn't believe that he hadn't given up despite being rejected each time. She thought he was crazy. Naoya continued to bother Saki, so she punched him in the gut, surprising everyone. Minis was so impressed by his resilience and tenacity. She wondered about it even in the exam hall. She said she would have given up if she were him. The exam was finally over and Saki was relieved but thought she'd blow it. Naoya told her it was really attractive the way she worked so hard. Minis memorized his name and thought about him on her way home. She was curious about what he was like and wanted to talk to him. She wished she could live like Naoya. The list was out. Minis got in, but she was curious if Naoya got in too. She wondered if she could learn more about him if they got into the same class. Just then, she heard Saki exclaim that she got it. She turned to look but saw Naoya first. He hugged Saki and congratulated her. He started to say something to her but immediately noticed Minis. Minis ran away. She stopped running when she was safely out of there. She realized she'd been thinking about Naoya all the time. She wondered what to do since Naoya is already in love with someone else, and from the way they were acting, they might have already been dating, but she had never felt like that before, and if she were Naoya, she would never give up. Minis decided to try her best so that he'd like her. She resolved to not give up no matter how hopeless it got. She started learning how to cook. After all, they say the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but she cut her finger in the process. Then she started jogging to get back in shape after all that studying for the exam. As she exercised, she encouraged herself that she can't be in embarrassing shape when she confesses to Naoya, but she still got hurt in the process. Minis also had to work hard to buy good ingredients, but her clumsiness still got in her way. She realized it wasn't going to be so easy, but it was also that she could be loved by someone she loved, so she'd keep going. She thinks she has changed a lot thanks to Naoya, and she's happy to know that she can work so hard. Naoya saved her, and her greatest wish is to continue the relationship with him. She adds that she's not holding back by being on her own. She then decides to leave before Saki can say anything. Naoya, who was on the other side of the bath, heard it all. After changing, Saki tries to bring up the topic again, but Minis immediately pleads with her not to tell Naoya, that it'd be so embarrassing. As she steps out of the changing room, Naoya is there. He tells her that just because she couldn't get anything right, couldn't work hard at anything, and he ended up saving her, she shouldn't have to be out on her own, and that she's definitely holding back. Minis is horrified that he heard it all and starts running away. Naoya chases after her and Saki joins. Naoya tries to convince her not to hold back and they should enjoy their vacation together, but Minis says Shino will be suspicious again if they're together. Milika is looking for Naoya and comes across Shino, who questions her relationship with Naoya. They don't get to continue as Minis, Naoya, and Saki run past them and they join. Minis still refuses to stop running. She says she doesn't mind being second to Saki if she gets to continue the relationship because she loves him. Naoya refuses and calls her a liar. He continues to chase her, trying to convince her not to give up on them. Minis asks what he would have done if Saki decided to break up with him when he proposed dating both of them, and he replies that he would have figured it out when it came to that. Saki, Shino, and Milika get tired and stop running, but Minis and Naoya keep going. Naoya soon gets tired and falls. Minis says he's too much of a nerd to keep up with her, so Naoya forces himself up and resumes running towards her, causing her to continue running. They run until sunset, still arguing about being number 2 or not. Minis successfully goes further ahead of him and stops when she gets to the river. She says she wants to be first too, but not if it means she has to be apart from him, and if she loses the strength that let her work hard for the first time. Naoya soon catches up. He apologizes for making her worry and that he thinks of both of them as being number 1 to him if he lets her hold back just so that the 3 of them can continue their relationship. He doesn't think he can keep the promise he made in the beginning about making sure they'll both be glad they dated him. Minis tries to run again, but he holds her back. He says he can't leave her, but Minis expresses her fear of Saki getting upset that she's trying to be number 1 to him. She says she can't stand being away from him, and he promises not to let that happen. He recounts how strong she was and tried to walk away after she found out he had a girlfriend. He says he thought about how Saki might dump him or how wrong it would be, just for a moment, but he thought that if he gave up on her, he would regret it. So he grabbed her hand without thinking. Some regrettable things came from him grabbing her hand, but there wouldn't have been any regret greater than if he'd given in to worry and given up on her. He reassures her that he won't leave her to be alone no matter what. Minis asks what he'd do if she keeps pushing, and Saki gets tired of his two-timing. He answers that he'll hear out what she doesn't like and work to solve it. Saki, Shino, and Milika finally find. Shino questions what exactly their relationship is. Minis decides to trust Naoya. She apologizes to Saki and announces herself as Naoya's girlfriend too. Shino asks Saki if it's true. She confirms to Shino that Naoya is two-timing them, then pulls Minis, and 3 of them run away. Minis says she doesn't know if they made the right choice or if it's going to work out, but if she can be with Naoya, it's alright. When get home from the hot spring trip, Shino invites them to her house to explain the two-timing situation to her. She didn't want someone to overhear them, especially for Saki's sake. She says she's disappointed in Naoya. He and Saki have been close since middle school, and yeah, he's kind of off up close, but she thought he was hardworking and studious. She asks him to explain what he's doing two-timing. Minis wants to explain, but Naoya stops her. He says it's because he met Minis 2 months ago and fell in love with her. He had no choice but to date both of them. Shino disagrees. She says Saki should have stopped him the moment she found out. Naoya says he's not going to go behind Saki's back. He tells her that he went to ask Saki if he could two-time her. Shino says it's crazy and is disappointed at Saki for accepting it. They then decide to go home, but not until Shino confirms that he can make both girls happy. Naoya says he plans to meet Saki's mom and tell her about the relationship. The girls are surprised. Shino says he's messed up. Naoya also wants Shino to accept them because she's Saki's precious friend. Saki gets the phone from him and cancels the message, promising to give him an earful at home. When they leave, Shino thinks about Naoya. She thought he'd just become a lousy person, but he is just his usual self, and that's why he just can't be two-timing. She says he can't fall in love with someone besides Saki, never. She tells herself that he's her friend's boyfriend. How is she supposed to give up on him now? She decides to make them stop so she can make herself give up.
Shino is looking at a picture of Naoya, Saki, Manase, and Malika on her wall. She describes Naoya as honest and studious, but sometimes an idiot. She admits that Naoya has been dating her best friend Saki and recently found out that he's also with Manase. Shino is angry about Naoya two-timing Saki and believes that such infidelity is unacceptable. She also knows that Malika is interested in him. Shino always believed Naoya was an upright person despite his oddness, and she feels that he should only be with Saki. Just then, she gets a call from Saki, but she's upset with her, so she tells her she doesn't want to speak with her. Saki complains that Naoya had done something bad with Manase. Shino is shocked and goes to Naoya's house. She is upset after realizing that Saki lied to her, and Saki apologizes. Shino asks why she has to help Manase study, and Naoya explains to her that Saki came up with an idea to spend summer break together, participating in many couple events. He also promised to spend all his savings from the part-time job he took during the summer break. They were all excited to make the best out of the summer until they remembered the exams before the summer break. They realized that if they failed the end-of-term exams, they would have to take remedial classes and their summer break would be canceled, ruining their summer plans. Saki assumes that it would not happen since she is not dumb enough to fail 3 exams. However, the problem lies with Manase, who apologizes for being dumb. When Naoya asks how much she has studied, she informs them that she was so happy cooking for Naoya that she could not study at all. Naoya then offers to teach her, but he could not be of help because Manase finds it difficult to understand as he doesn't have any study or learning techniques. They're worried about what to do, and Naoya asks Saki if there is anything she can do to help Manase. Saki reminds Manase that she told her not to hold back when it came to Naoya, and she knows that if Manase ends up having remedial classes, she will have Naoya all to herself. Naoya is surprised, but Saki tells him she is kidding and tells Manase the answers instead of helping her solve them. It is 2 days until exams, and Naoya realizes that they're too slow. He wishes they had someone who is better at school. That's when Saki recommends Shino, but Saki is skeptical about reaching out to her because she had been awkward after finding out about their relationship. However, he persuades her, and she finally gives in and contacts Shino. Shino now understands the reason they want her to help Minase study. Saki asks Minase where the tea is, and after Minase responds, Shino realizes that Saki and Minase are familiar with Naoya's place. She confesses that they have been living together. From Shino's reaction, Saki realizes she has not told her about it before. Shino's surprised that they are living together and calls them idiots. Naoya tells her that he suggested it so they could get to know each other better. Shino asks about Naoya's parents, and he tells her they're out of town for business. She suddenly realizes and asks if they've done it, but Saki disagrees. Naoya supports her by saying that they decided to wait. Shino can't believe it, and Naoya tells her to focus on helping Minase study. He begs her that their summer memory is at stake. Shino does not care and tells Naoya that she's trying to get him to stop two-timing. She then makes to leave, but Naoya stops her and tells her that in return he's going to delete the picture of both of them and ask Minase for her phone. Minase gives him the phone and he deletes it, surprising Shino. She asks him how he gets leverage if he deletes it first. Naoya agrees but tells her that he can't threaten her with it. Minase joins in, begging her and Saki too. Shino finally agrees for Saki's sake. They praise her and she tells them to stop. Shino asks Minase what she needs help with. Minase tells her everything, and Shino wonders if she's that stupid. Minase apologizes, but Shino recognizes her efforts and Minase is happy and relieved. Shino encourages her to give it her all and that she's got some time. Minase promises to do her best, and Naoya says he'll help Minase with the chores. Shino gives Minase all her notes to copy from. Naoya asks if Shino is tired and proceeds to rub her shoulders, and she shouts at him to stop. Shino is trying all she can to help Minase perform better, and Naoya offers to buy drinks. Saki, who is on her phone, asks him to get gummies too. Shino scolds her to study too. One day before the exams, Shino is still helping Minase study. She checks Minase's work and compliments her performance. Everyone is grateful to Shino, who is exhausted, and asks why Minase is so calm when Naoya is two-timing her. Minase ignores Shino's question and thanks her for tutoring. Shino reminds her that she still hates her, shocking Minase. Shino tells her that she only helped her because Saki asked her to. Naoya praises Shino for helping Minase regardless of her reasons and tells her that she's an amazing person. Shino is touched but becomes upset, saying that she hates the way he talks to just anyone like that. Naoya apologizes. After the exam results are out, Minase passes and she's excited. Naoya thanks Shino for her help. Saki exposes that Naoya had to study hard to earn his usual grade, and he promises to do better. Saki and Minase are happy they get to have their summer break as everyone passes. Shino then asks to live at Naoya's place during the summer break as a reward for tutoring Minase, surprising everyone. Naoya asks why. Shino tells them that now she's aware that 3 of them live together, she has to do something about it by watching Naoya up close and confronting him with evidence that two-timing doesn't work. Naoya turns it around by saying that it means Shino is going to find their problems, analyze them, and help them develop a plan to improve. He appreciates her for being so nice. Shino is upset and corrects him, stating that she's trying to find evidence to prevent him from two-timing. Shino still insists insists on living with them, and Saki is happy about it. Just then, Milika appears at the window, and they are surprised to see her. She is angry that Naoya would not let her stay in his yard, but is willing to allow Shino to stay in his house. She asks if Naoya loves Shino, and he quickly denies it, leaving Shino disappointed. Naoya tells Milika that if Shino can see them up close, then she may understand how serious their relationship is and then approve of it. Milika feels it's unfair and is determined to join them, but Naoya disagrees. Milika is sad and leaves, telling them that she won't let anyone into Naoya's place if she's not allowed in. Milika sets up a blockade in front of Naoya's door, and Naoya is confused. She reminds him that she won't let anyone in unless he allows her to stay too. She asks why Shino gets to stay with them, but she can't. She agrees to stay in the yard as long as she's able to spend the summer with Naoya. Saki suggests that they wait until she needs to use the bathroom, but Milika tells her that she's not going to make the same mistake again. She shows them an easy-to-use toilet bag she has, and they're surprised and ask if she's really going to use that, and she agrees. Then Saki calls her shameless. Milika tells them that she'll cover herself so they can't see, but Shino believes Milika can't go through with it. Milika is challenged and tells them that they don't know her. She's about to go through with it when Saki asks if she's going to do it in front of a guy she likes. Milika feels embarrassed and confesses that she can't do it. She resorts to begging Naoya and telling him that she loves him, but Naoya still disagrees. Malika starts making a fuss, and Manase finds it cute. Malika says she thinks Shino has a crush on Naoya, and Naoya asks Shino to confirm, but Shino denies it, saying he's her friend's boyfriend. Malika insists that Shino is lying. Saki asks what they should do, and Naoya says he has an idea and pulls out his phone. Milika assumes it's the police and begs him not to, but Naoya tells her that it's not that big of a deal to involve the police. Malika is shocked to see her sister Risa. Saki calls her cute, and Manase asks how Naoya knows Risa. Naoya narrates that one day in class, Malika asked him to come over to her place, but he refused. Milika then offered him a bottle of water, and as he drank from it, he passed out, and Milika wheeled him away to her place. Naoya is still unconscious when Risa asks to confirm if he's the one Milika likes and proceeds to tell her that she doesn't mind rooting for her. Naoya wakes up and is confused about where he is. Milika informs him that he's in her room and introduces him to Risa. He's still confused, and Milika reminds him of their conversation at the hot spring where he told her he was an only child and envied having siblings. She tells him that if he marries her in the future, he'll have a chance to have a sister like he always wanted. She concludes that if he likes her sister, then he'll want to date her. Risa questions Malika's intelligence. Malika asks Risa to proceed, and Risa starts to act cute. Naoya is taken aback by her cuteness, and Malika tells Risa to put in more effort. Risa agrees and sits on Naoya, continuing her cute act. She also decides to change into something cute. Naoya tells her she's cute in every outfit she shows him and concludes that she's cute in anything. Risa is happy that Naoya calls her cute, and Milika is jealous. Risa continues her act and tells Naoya that she wishes she had a brother like him. Naoya gives up, admitting he also wants a sister like Risa. Milika is excited it worked and then takes the opportunity to ask Naoya again if he would go out with her, but he still declines. She tells him that Risa has more in store and reveals that Risa is also a metuber and works hard. She also tells him that Risa is better at gaming than she is and doesn't use her breasts as clickbait, but still has a lot of subscribers and confesses that she's proud of her. Naoya still stands his ground and rejects Malika. When she asks why, he asks her if she would be satisfied with him going out with her just so he could have a sister. Malika tells him that she would do anything to achieve her goal of going out with him. Naoya asks if she wants a boyfriend who would be with her just to get close to her sister, and Milika realizes that Naoya is right and that she won't be happy with the situation. Naoya is glad Milika finally understands, and before leaving, compliments Risa by saying she's really Milika's sister because she is cute, and tells her that he wished she could have been his sister. Milika finds comfort in Naoya's words and interprets that Naoya means she's cute too. Saki is amazed to discover that Risa is a metuber and plans to subscribe to her channel because she's cute. Risa grabs Milika and tells her that she's embarrassing her, but Milika says they shouldn't let her sister take her back. She then asks how Naoya was able to contact her sister, to which he told her that they exchanged email addresses through Matube. Malika is surprised that Risa has Naoya's email address and begs her for it on their way home. A few days later, Malika comes back with a rental agreement for the apartment next door to Naoya's. She tells him that since he hasn't agreed to be with her, she can just use the power of money to be close to him. She's satisfied with her decision, and Risa tells her to make a lot of videos or she'll go broke. Naoya is surprised that it's legal, and Saki expresses her worries. Regardless, they still plan to have a lot of fun during the summer break. Shino is determined to stop Naoya from two-timing, especially since she's moving into his house for Saki's sake. She also wants to be able to give up on Naoya too. When she rings the bell, Saki comes to let her in. Shino scolds her to get a grip, seeming annoyed to stay with them. Saki apologizes and the rest welcome her. Shino is uncomfortable with the clothes on the floor, so she starts folding them. Manase wonders how Saki and Shino became friends since their personalities are so different. Saki says they just hit it off, and Shino narrates that she had just transferred schools because of her parents. She is walking through the hallway when Saki gasps. Shino asks who she is, and Saki is amazed, saying she had seen a cute girl with smaller breasts than hers, so Shino flips her. Shino continues that Saki comes after her, apologizing for saying that out of nowhere. Shino shows Saki her position, and Saki is impressed that Shino is in first place and scored 100% on every test, telling her that her name is cute. Shino goes ahead to show Saki that she's also good at sports, and Saki is really impressed, telling her that she's a full package. Shino then asks her why she would care about her breast size when she's a full package, and Saki tells her that is a different matter and they should stick together. Shino tells Saki that her life is going to be on a different level from Saki's, and even if they become friends, they'd have to stop seeing each other soon. Hence, Saki has wasted her time and would feel jealous of her. Shino tells Saki that when they grow up and happen to walk on the same path, they can be friends. Saki doesn't give up and asks Shino to play a game with her. She says they should be friends while they're still young and and cute, and she's confident she won't get jealous of anyone with smaller breasts. Shino is getting irritated and disagrees, telling Saki she doesn't have a gaming system. However, Saki brings out a second one and tells her that she used her New Year's allowance to buy another one. Shino asks if she's crazy and didn't think that there was a possibility of her disagreeing. Saki tells her she was only thinking about gaming with a cute girl. Shino has no choice but to agree, saying she doesn't want to waste Saki's money. Saki is excited and tells Shino that she loves her. Shino continues explaining that Saki just kept following her around, and over time, they became friends. Saki chimes in that she loves cute girls. Naya says Shino was already friends with Saki when he met her, so he didn't know their story. He feels that Shino has always cared for Saki and apologizes for worrying her about the two-timing. Shino tells him to expect her that summer and asks to be shown her room, to which Naoya points. Inside the room, Shino heaves a sigh of relief and thinks to herself how she ended up meeting Naoya because she became friends with Saki. She stares at his picture and recalls that it was a month after meeting Saki. They're on their way back from school when Naoya suddenly appears and confesses his love to Saki. They're surprised and Saki tells him no one asked and pushes him. She drags Shino away, but Shino is concerned about Naoya. She admits that she first loved his honest eyes, the boy with sincere eyes who confessed to Saki once a month and kept showing up when she was with Saki, but got rejected every time and never relented. Shino approaches Naya and suggests that he try something else. She confesses that she never wanted to get involved. Naya recognizes her, and Shino tells him that there has to be a better way to get Saki to go out with him, as he's too awkward. She advises him to try a different method, like not confessing for a while, as it might draw her attention that way. Naoya agrees with her but says he's going to keep confessing because he wants her to know that he loves her. Shino realizes that she is already drawn to his genuine eyes. She gets a hold of herself and apologizes for thinking he was an idiot. She says she has realized that dating is not the most important thing to him, and she is amazed, but there has to be a better way. She suddenly remembers Saki's birthday and asks what Naoya's plan is. He says he plans to give Saki 100 roses, but Shino tells him she'll help him pick a present. At the mall, Naoya wants to get a push-up bra for Saki, but Shino tells him she's going to kill him. He suggests getting a ring too, and Shino tells him it would be cringe. She jokes about him getting a pack of gummies instead. When Naoya believes it, she clarifies that she's joking and says although she believes that Saki would appreciate it. Naoya comments on their closeness, but Shino says that she's just putting up with Saki because Saki is persistent and vulnerable. Naoya tells her she's very kind, and she asks them to keep moving. They get to the clothes section, and Shino informs Naya that Saki wears clothes from there often and asks what he thinks. Naya tells her to put it in for reference. Shino does, and Naya calls her cute, and she tells him to stop. Inside the dressing room, Shino wonders what's wrong with Naoya. She admits that Naoya was kind of weird, but he was earnest, and she didn't mind spending time with him. As Shino was about to fully undress, Naoya whispers from outside that Saki is there. Shino is shocked, and Naoya doesn't want Saki to see him so she will not think he's being unfaithful or ruin the surprise, so he tries to figure out where to hide. Shino has no choice but to drag Naoya into the dressing room. She is embarrassed and tells Naoya not to look in her direction, but he tells her he already saw while he was coming in and apologizes. Shino is upset that he's always honest, and he tells her it is beautiful. Shino is more embarrassed and asks him to stop. Naoya also thanks her for helping him and praises her kindness. She tells him that he keeps praising her for being nice, but she's not nice. She is privileged and just has the capacity to deal with other people's problems, and that is all it was. Naoya insists that she's kind because she uses her capacity for other people instead of herself, and he thinks she's a fantastic person. Shino shyly tells him that he can't say that to anyone besides Saki. Naoya then realizes he can see Shino's underwear, and she pushes him out, calling him a fool. Naoya thanks Shino again for her help on the way home. He hands her a present, and when she opens it, she sees a bow. She thanks him, and also warns him not to speak to her going forward because he'll be in trouble if they get too close and she falls in love with him. This surprises Naoya, and he wonders what to do as he's in love with Saki, but thinks Shino's really attractive too. Shino tells him that she's joking and that she's rooting for him. Shino admits that Naoya is a really good guy and that Saki definitely likes him. Shino tells herself that Saki is her friend and that she shouldn't want Saki's boyfriend. When she comes out of the room, she finds Naoya asleep on the couch and immediately gets a text message from Saki informing her that she is shopping with Manase for the huge dinner that night. Shino admits that she still hasn't gotten over Naoya and wonders if she will be able to move on once she kisses him. But as she is about to, Saki calls out to her. Shino is shocked and Saki asks what she is doing. Shino stammers and tells Saki that it's nothing. She tries to come up with a lie and finally says that Naoya had some nose hair and she was plucking them. Saki believes her, saying she would do the same and that there was no way Shino would kiss Naoya. Shino is relieved. Saki informs her that she rushed home to catch a live stream she'd been meaning to watch. Shino asks Saki for the bathroom and Saki points her to it. In the shower, Shino tries to get hold of herself, wondering why she tried to kiss Naoya, and worse, Saki saw her. She knows that it would be over if she actually kissed him and Saki caught her. Shino is determined not to let her guard down and focuses on ending Naoya's two-timing so she can give up on him. As she steps out of the shower, Naoya comes into the bathroom and they are surprised to see each other. Shino rushes to cover herself and Naoya looks away and apologizes. He recalls that the same thing happened at the hot spring and he forgot to receive punishment, so he dials the police and reports himself. Shino gets a towel to cover herself and tries to get the phone, and they end up struggling for it. Shino tells Naoya that she has no problem as the victim. Naoya asks if she is admitting that it's okay for him to see her nude, but she disagrees. She finally gets the phone from Naoya but slips in the process, and Naoya tries to catch her. Saki feels a vibration from the fall and Naoya asks if Shino is okay, but she's too embarrassed to speak. Naoya is grateful that Shino held onto her towel, but Shino is afraid that Saki might find them in that position, and her fears are true when she sees Saki staring at them by the door. Saki is angry to see them in the same position again, and Shino convinces her that nothing happened, but but as she stands up, Naoya sees her body and she screams. Shino is embarrassed that it hasn't been up to a day yet, but Naoya tells her he already saw her at the hot spring, so it's okay. She tells him that doesn't make it better. Saki finally asks Shino if she has a clumsy streak. Shino makes it clear that she's going to put an end to their two-timing and leave, and tells Naoya to be ready for her. Saki tries to convince herself that it's nothing more. Dinner is set, and Naoya tells Shino that it's her welcome party, but Shino is not impressed. She asks Naoya if he's stupid for throwing her a welcome party when she's only staying with them to wreck their two-timing relationship. Naoya tells her that they all decided to welcome her stay because Saki is her best friend, and whatever her intentions are, he wants to value her because she values Saki. Saki and Manase agree, and Naoya tells Shino that they're going to have a good time together, and in the end, he'll make her approve of their relationship. Shino tells him she will never accept and tries to walk away, but Manase begs her to have dinner with them since they worked hard on it for 3 days because they thought they would get closer if they ate together. Shino finally agrees but tells Manase that they're still not going to be friends. Shino appreciates the food, making Manase happy. She also comments on the cost of the ingredients, and Manase tells her that Naoya paid for them with the money he earned. Minus offers her more food, and she says they're all good. She praises Minase's efforts to become a good cook, and Minase tells her she's honest even though she hates her. Shino tells her that the food still lacks nutritional balance even though it tastes good. She proceeds to cut some vegetables and adds them to their dinner, saying they need to eat vegetables or they'll get sick. Manase thanks her and tells her she's so kind, and Naoya would appreciate her even more. Shino realizes what she has done. Saki tells her that Manase committed herself to cooking to impress Naoya. Shino asks Manase if she fell in love with Naoya when she already knew he had a girlfriend, and Manase agrees. Shino is angry and asks if she has any idea of what she's putting Saki through. Naoya comes to protect Manase, and she tells Shino that she doesn't think she can understand how much she has put Saki through or how much she will put her through in the future in order to keep her relationship, but she feels guilty about it. Shino tells her to end the relationship then, but Manase tells her that she loves Naoya, and he assured her he would never let her go, and she has decided to stay with him. She tells Shino that she would love to be her friend, but she has no intention of breaking up with Naoya. Shino praises her assertiveness, and Saki suggests they all try to get along, but Shino disagrees and says she hates Minase even more, and she'll do more to end the relationship. Minase tells her she won't back down. On the day of the firework festival, Shino tells Saki that the fireworks would be the perfect setting for her to get closer to Naya and outdo Minase. Reluctantly, Saki agrees to try her best to set the mood for their first kiss. Shino is surprised to learn that Saki and Naoya haven't kissed yet, while Minase has, despite joining the group later. Saki is apprehensive, and Shino questions what Saki has been doing all this time. Saki argues that Minase only kissed Naoya on the cheek, to which Shino asks if Saki has done the same. Saki disagrees. Shino asks her seriously what she has been doing, and Saki explains that they have been friends for too long and she doesn't think she can suddenly kiss him. Shino then takes her to Naoya and Manase and asks her to kiss Naoya, surprising everyone. Saki whispers to Shino, reminding her that she said she would set the mood at the fireworks festival. However, Shino insists, stating that Saki hadn't kissed Naoya because she couldn't set the mood, and questions how she's going to set the mood, and if she plans to kiss him, she can never set the mood. Saki feels defeated, and Shino adds that it's because of Saki's attitude that Naoya is two-timing her. Naoya is confused but agrees anyway. He sets the mood by lighting a candle and asks to kiss Saki. Saki is taken aback, and Naoya approaches her and tells her that he loves her. He also tells her he loves her smile and how honest she is. Her heart is pounding, and she suddenly breaks the mood, saying it's uncomfortable. Naoya asks if she doesn't want to kiss him, and Saki tells him she didn't expect it to be like that. Shino cuts in and tells Saki to be serious, and Manase tries to encourage her. Saki is confused that Manase is okay with it. Manase tells her that Naoya wouldn't two-time Saki if she didn't get in the way, and she'd like to kiss Naoya for real someday too. Naoya then tells Saki that he has fallen in love with two girls, and it may be hard to believe, but his feelings for her have not changed at all since he fell in love with her. Saki is touched but asks if he's going to kiss her on such an ordinary day. Naoya continues, saying that she's always charming and cute. Based on Saki's reaction, Naoya asks if she doesn't feel like kissing him, and she disagrees and says she's always wanted to. She takes his face in her hands, and everyone is expectant, but as they lean in close, Saki changes her mind and pushes him away, saying it's uncomfortable. Manase goes to check if Naoya is okay while Shino scolds her, but Saki tells Shino that the situation just gave her confidence for the fireworks festival. On the night of the fireworks festival, Saki calls out to Naoya that they're all set, and Shino is not okay with following them, but Saki insists. Minase is concerned about Naoya liking her outfit, while Milika says she's the most good-looking. Shino questions why Milika is there, and she replies that it's to seduce Naoya. Naoya steps outside and is impressed by everyone's appearance. He compliments Saki and Manase, and then Shino. When Shino asks why he cares about her looks, Milika asks Naoya to look at her too, and if he's happy to see her, but Naoya bluntly disagrees. At the festival, Minase and Saki are discussing the beauty of the event when Naoya approaches them. He tells them that they should make good memories, to which they both agree. Saki imagines that a kiss might happen and suggests they visit the stalls first. Naoya buys a lot of food and asks Saki to choose what she wants. Saki tells him that she skipped lunch, so she's going to eat all of them. Saki's enjoying all the food when Milika shows up with a chocolate banana to offer to Naoya because he likes bananas. However, Saki takes a bite from it instead because she knows Naoya would not want it. Naoya confirms Saki's words when he tells Milika that the chocolate flavor overwhelms the banana flavor and rejects it. Milika excuses herself to go make videos, promising to be back. Naoya asks Manase what she would like to do, and Manase tells him. She proceeds to play and is able to win a lot. Saki and Naoya are impressed, and she tells him it's the only thing she's good at. Naoya tells her that she is amazing, and Manase is touched. Shino interrupts and tells her she's too close, and as she drags Manase away, she slips, and Naoya ends up catching her by her chest. Shino Shino is embarrassed, Naoya apologizes, and Saki calls her an accidental perv. As they leave the stall, Saki and Manase comment that they had a good time. Naoya then asks Shino what she would like to eat, but Shino tells him to focus on Saki instead. Saki and Manase go to check something out, leaving Shino and Naoya behind. Shino expresses her concern about Manase, who came along when Saki dated Naoya first and even kissed him. She insists that Saki is not okay with it and advises Naoya to set the mood for Saki and have eyes only for her. Naoya tries to mention Manase, but Shino cuts him off and urges him to go watch the fireworks with Saki. She tells him it's about to start, and they realize that they've lost Saki and Manase. Not realizing that Naoya is not behind them, Saki fantasizes about kissing Naoya, but Minase then realizes and calls her attention to the fact that they have not seen Naoya. Shino, on the other hand, asks Naoya to call Saki, but he's out of range, so they can't contact them. Shino yells at him, calling him an idiot. As they look for Saki and Manase, Shino gets frustrated, fearing they wouldn't get another chance after that day. She warns Naoya that another girl might steal him if Saki doesn't get it together. When they can't find Saki, Shino suggests they split up. However, Naoya is found carrying a girl whose sandal string broke, and she lost sight of her friends. Shino is upset that Naoya is helping a stranger, but he insists. As they argue, Shino gets more frustrated and tells Naoya to find Saki while she takes care of the girl. But then Shino's sandal string breaks and she falls. Naoya asks if she's okay, and she tells him to hurry up and find Saki. Naoya refuses to leave her and carries her as well. He starts running and asks the girl where she's supposed to meet her friends. She points in the opposite direction, so Naoya has to turn and run in that direction. Shino is worried about Saki missing the fireworks and questions what Naoya will do if he can't find her before it starts. Naoya is torn but knows he can't leave Shino while she's hurt. He tells her that Saki cares for her and he does too. Shino's heart starts pounding. She tries to adjust but almost falls, so Naoya grabs her backside and apologizes when she scolds him. The girl spots her friends and Naoya drops her. She thanks him for helping her when he has an important thing to do, but he tells her it's okay. Naoya then heads to get Shino treatment, and Shino appreciates his kindness and sincerity. She tells him that as she learns about him, she can't seem to understand why he would hurt Saki by two-timing. Naoya stops, and Shino tells him that even if Manase confessed to him, he should have rejected her for Saki's sake. Naoya confesses that he planned to do so at first because he loved Saki, but he realized it would only be because that is the normal thing to do. He remembers Manase and tells Shino that he thought he would regret it if it wasn't an answer that he was convinced was right. He also adds that if he had told Saki that he was in love with Manase, it would hurt her, and at the same time, if he rejected Manase, it wouldn't change the fact that he had already fallen for her. If Saki somehow found out that he had feelings for someone else, it would hurt her more. So, he thought it would be wrong to hide something like that from someone that is important to him. Naoya admits that it's probably just his ego speaking, and he's obviously in the wrong. Shino is still adamant that he should have kept it from Saki. She asks Naoya to put her down in front of the first aid station, and he obliges. When he calls out to her, she tells him to quickly find Saki. Naoya runs around searching and calling out to Saki and Manase when suddenly, Malika appears in front of him. She's happy to finally see Naoya, as she has been preparing for their time alone all day. She tells him that she would like to watch the fireworks with him, but Naoya ignores her. Malika stops him and he tells her he's looking for Saki and doesn't have time to watch the fireworks with her. Malika reminds him that he gave her 5 minutes at the hot spring, and he tells her that that was the right thing to do. Malika tells him how she spent all summer recording a lot of videos so she could spend time with him. Naoya apologizes and continues running, while Malika runs after him, confessing her love, but he rejects her, saying he's only in love with Manase and Saki. Malika tells him that he has not been treating her well lately, and he agrees that it's because he wants her to give up on him. Malika finally catches up with him and pushes him into a dark alley. She asks him to look at her and tells him that if he gives her his attention and still doesn't fall for her, she'll let it go. No odd. She tells him that she'll let Saki have him if he doesn't have time for her, but he should give her his time once in a while. Naoya tells her that he wants to use all his time for Saki. Malika grabs Naoya's shirt, asking if he saw her camping videos and that she made them hoping to go camping with him, and she also spent a lot of time editing them, guaranteeing that they'll make him want to go camping with her. But Naoya tells her he doesn't watch her videos anymore, and Malika is heartbroken and starts crying. She tries to stop herself and asks Naoya if her videos are not good anymore, and promises to work even harder to make them fun. Naoya corrects her that is not the issue, and he doesn't hate her either. He tells her that he can't let himself fall for her. He apologizes before running off. The fireworks go off, and Malika realizes that Naoya notices her. Saki is freaking out as the fireworks have started, but they can't find Naoya. Minase informs her that the fireworks would last half an hour and suggests they split up and look for Naoya. Saki agrees, and Minase tells her they should meet back in 20 minutes. As Saki is about to leave, Minase calls out to her and tells her she has an idea. Naoya is still looking for Saki and Minase. He realizes he has to find them fast, so he starts running as he promised to see the fireworks with them and make memories together. He comes to a stop when he spots Minase, and they are happy to see each other. They run towards each other and stop in front of Saki's friend, who recognizes them, and Naoya recognizes her too. Minase remembers that no one in school is supposed to know about their relationship. Minase quickly changes her direction and goes towards the candy stand, pretending she wanted to buy candy. Naoya thinks it's cute, but Minase feels embarrassed. After buying, she loudly says that she is heading to the park, and Naoya pretends he has something to do too and goes in the same direction, confusing the girl. They're out of breath, and Minase realizes that a lot of people from their class would be present at the festival. They're both relieved that they were not caught. Minase tells Naoya that they should hurry before the firework ends. Naoya suggests they find Saki too, but Minase tells him that she'll be waiting there for Saki, as Saki agreed to her idea of spending time with Naoya if she found him first. She tells him that she wants to watch the fireworks with him and make pleasant memories. Minase tells Naoya not to worry because because the park is dark and no one would find them. Naoya is touched and suggests that they watch the fireworks together. Manase agrees and surprises Naoya by holding his hands, showing assertiveness. There is an awkward silence, but Manase tries to start a conversation by complimenting the fireworks. Naoya acknowledges her efforts and decides to grant her wish by holding her hands properly. As the tension grows between them, Manase takes a step forward and lays her head on his lap. Not wanting to be defeated, Naoya carries Manase and she hugs him, surprising them both. Naoya suddenly realizes that they're not watching the fireworks, so they go back to watching. Manase is grateful to spend time with Naoya and confesses that she's happy. Naoya decides to apologize to Manase for the fact that they have to hide their relationship from others, but Minas tells him it's okay and that she is happier to be able to go out with him than she is sad that it's a secret. Naoya still insists that he knows he's put a heavy burden on her. Manase accepts that it may be a difficult relationship and they may face problems in the future. She approaches him, holds his hands, and assures him that being with him is worth it. She admits that although a part of her wants him for herself, she fell in love with the Naoya that was in love with Saki. The romantic atmosphere created by the fireworks is interrupted by Saki, who is happy to see them. Minas excuses herself, keeping the promise she made to Saki to switch places. Before she leaves, she whispers to Naoya not to tell Saki about what they did because it was embarrassing. After Manasa leaves, Saki immediately asks what Naoya and Minas were doing alone. Naoya refuses to tell her, and Saki finds it suspicious. She keeps asking him, but Naoya tells her it's embarrassing. She's upset, but he still insists he can't tell her. Saki is trying to hold herself back from getting angry, and Naoya tells her that they should focus on watching the fireworks and setting the mood to create beautiful memories. Saki loses it and punches Naoya, saying she's not in the mood. Naoya catches his breath and tells her that the fireworks are almost over and that he doesn't want to miss the chance to kiss her as he has in the past, and he doesn't want to keep making her wait. Saki doesn't respond, so he asks if she doesn't want to kiss him anymore. She admits that she does and questions why he'll make her say it. She calms down and agrees to watch the fireworks with him, saying it doesn't matter what he did with Minace, and she's just gonna do what she needs to do. Naoya takes his seat next to her, and they stay quiet for a while as Saki tries to calm her mind and focus. She catches a scent from Naoya and grabs his shirt, telling him that she just caught a whiff of Minasi on him. She perceives a different scent and tells him it is from Shino, Milika, and another girl she doesn't know of. Naoya is surprised and asks how she can tell. She tells him that she remembers cute girl scents. Nervously, Saki asks what Naoya is doing with other women while she is gone. He assures her that it's nothing to be ashamed of, remembering his encounters. He tells her that they just make contact because of reasons, and Saki tells him it sounds shameful. He assures her it's nothing and they should watch the fireworks. Saki calms down again and guesses that Naoya wouldn't lie. They get back to watching. Saki tells Naoya that this is their first summer together and she'd regret not enjoying it. She continues that they have spent a lot of summers together since they were kids, but this summer is different because they're together and they're grown up. They both get in the mood and are about to kiss when Saki smells Manasi's scent and complains that she can't focus at all, and that is the reason why she hates two-timing. She keeps rolling as Naoya tries to get her to calm down so they can watch the fireworks. Just then, they hear an announcement that the firework has ended. Saki finally calms down and they are shocked. Minase cannot believe that the fireworks festival has ended, and Naoya excuses himself and dashes to get fireworks. When he gets back, Saki is speechless. He asks if she doesn't want them, and she tells him that it's cliche that they missed the fireworks festival, and he bought them sparklers instead. Saki loosens up and accepts, telling him it's not a bad idea. She tries to decide which one to pick, and Naoya takes that opportunity to apologize to Saki for causing her trouble by two-timing and thank her for accepting him still. He continues, saying that he wouldn't have gotten anywhere if he wasn't going out with her. He remembers what Shino told him about Saki not being happy with another girl in the picture, so he asks her how she feels. Saki is deep in the conversation, and Naoya continues, saying that he wants to know how she feels about living together and everything that has happened with Milika. He then suddenly asks if she's happy that he started two-timing. Saki hits him, asking if he's mental. Naoya tells Saki that he wants to hear the truth about what she thinks of their relationship and if she's hiding any pain. Naoya confesses that he is scared, but he wants to learn about Saki. Saki asks him what he would do if she told him that she was not okay with it, and he responds that he'll figure it out. Saki thinks for a while and tells Naoya that they should light the fireworks first. She goes ahead to light the first one and says it's been a long time since she played with fireworks. Saki then asks if Shino scolded Naoya, and he admits that she did. Saki confesses that she does get lonely. She reminds Naya that he only used to look at her until he met Minase, and she realizes that she can't have his heart to herself. She tells him that even if she made a fuss and forced him to break up, Minas would still be on his mind. But she tells him that she still loves him because he's honest and doesn't know when to give up. She admits that she wanted to beat him up when he suggested two-timing, but there was a part of her that was amused that he could lie to her even in that situation. Saki says she didn't know what to do in the beginning and she doesn't know how their relationship would go with Manase, but she's not worried about her relationship with him because he has always confessed his love to her over and over from way back, and she loves him because for years and years he had confessed his love to her, and she believes that he's going to continue loving her. Naoya is moved, and Saki tells him that she may just be a fool and he doesn't have to worry about her. She tells him that she is grateful they get to do fireworks together and every day ends up being fun, and she's happy so far. The firework burns out and Saki stands to leave and tells Naoya that he's going to have to do his best to convince her about the two-timing, and if he ever does something nasty with Manase, she's going to end him. Saki then notices Naoya crying and is speechless. Naoya tells Saki that he's so glad that she's the one he fell in love with. Saki doesn't know what to do, and Naoya approaches her and hugs her, promising to make her happy. Saki feels awkward and pushes Naoya away, telling him that they should call others since they have a lot of fireworks. They all sit together, lighting and playing with fireworks. Saki comments that they have made good memories. The firework burns out, and Shino asks if Saki has kissed Naya. Saki is scared to admit that she forgot and tries to give an excuse. Shino wonders how she can forget, and Saki tells tells her not to worry about that and they should do some fireworks instead. She goes ahead to spin fireworks to distract Shino. Shino is concerned that nothing happened and questions if Saki is really serious about Naoya. At Milika's house, Risa asks Milika how the festival was. Milika says that she got more from it than she expected. She remembers how Naoya told her that he doesn't want to fall for her. She is determined not to miss the opportunity and sets a date to abduct Naoya. It's the day after the festival, and Shino recalls that Saki and Naoya did not share a kiss. She expresses her desire for Naoya and Saki's relationship to work out and for Naoya to only be interested in Saki so that she can give up. Shino's thoughts are interrupted when Naoya asks what she wants to give up. Shino is afraid that she has been caught and asks to confirm if Naoya had seen the picture on her phone. Naoya is confused and she's relieved. Naoya asks to know what's wrong, and Shino brushes it off. He also asks about the condition of her injury, and she admits it's better. She suddenly remembers and asks Naoya why he didn't share a kiss with Saki. Naoya thinks to himself and explains to her that a lot happened after they both parted ways. He tells her that Milika caught up with him and he did some stuff with Minase. That catches Shino's interest, and Minase overhears her name and assumes they called her. Shino goes up to Minase and asks what she did with Naoya the previous day. Minase gets red in the face, and Shino asks to confirm that she didn't get ahead of Saki and kiss Naoya. Minase disagrees immediately, and Naoya tries to stop Shino, who ignores him and continues to pester Minase to tell her about what she did with Naoya. Minase tells her that they held hands, but Shino is not satisfied and asks them to show her how they did it. They both hold hands, and Shino asks what else they did. Minase is frightened, and they both go ahead to display all they did on the festival night. After they're done, Shino asks if that was everything. Minase adds that they talked together while watching the fireworks and admits that they made good memories together. Saki is upset and yells, asking if Minase doesn't feel bad for Saki. They're both speechless, and she calls them idiots, then leaves. When Shino gets to her room, she acknowledges that Minase is the cause of everything. If only Minase was not present, then Saki would be happy and she can move on. Shino is not able to delete Naoya's picture, so she slides down the door and says it's not fair. She starts crying, confessing that she can't erase Naoya. A package arrived for Saki. It's a camping gear set. Minase reads the arrival notes for Saki, and she is surprised. Naoya asks if she signed up for something, but she's not sure. They also find a free campsite coupon. Meanwhile, Milika, who set up the whole plan, is hiding to listen to them as they agree to go camping. At the campsite, Saki is excited that the view is nice and the weather is good. Naoya suggests they make some more memories and get even closer. Naoya is in charge of setting up the tent, while Minase offers to cook. Saki can't believe the fact that she won camping gear and says that she's lucky. Shino mocks her that she is getting too timed but claims that she's lucky. Saki is embarrassed and tells her that there are some things she shouldn't say. Shino tells her that she's too carefree, and Saki asks if she's still upset about the fireworks festival, to which Shino replies that she forgot to kiss. She also asks if Saki wants Minase to steal Naoya from her, but Saki says she's sure it would be fine and Shino doesn't have to worry about her. She jokingly asks Shino if she likes her, and Shino coldly responds that maybe she ought to hate her. Naoya interrupts them and asks Saki to help him fetch some water because he is occupied with the tent. Saki agrees, but Shino takes the container before Saki can and asks her to stay behind and make sure Minase doesn't act out of line. While filling the container, Shino says that if only Saki can get her act together, she wouldn't have to keep thinking about Naoya. Saki creeps up behind her and touches her breast, squeezing them. Shino is shocked and realizes it's Saki. She asks her to stop, and Saki tells her that she seems angry, so she thinks if she squeezes her and gets her in the mood, she might be less angry. Shino tells her she's not getting in the mood, neither is her anger reducing. Saki then continues squeezing, and Shino yells at her to stop, but Saki tells her that they're just so comfortable and compliments Shino's breast. Shino tells her to stop talking, and when Saki does, the silence is more awkward, so Shino tells her to stop squeezing in silence. Saki asks Shino if she seems helpless, and Shino agrees, telling her that there is nothing about their situation that would make her think otherwise. Saki apologizes for making her worry, and Shino asks her to get it together. Saki teases Shino but continues, and Shino ends up begging Saki to stop. Saki instead goes faster until Shino punches her away. They sit to talk, and Shino informs Saki that she is always acting silly, and Saki apologizes. Shino also tells her to start taking Naoya seriously, and Saki argues that she does. Shino points out that if she did, she wouldn't leave him with Minase alone. Saki tells her that she left because it seemed like Shino also had something weighing on her and she could just leave her. Shino agrees with her, and Saki tells her that she can always tell when something is bothering Shino. Shino then asks Saki if she's not really into Naoya, and before Saki can respond, she gets a call from Naoya, who tells her to hurry back. Naoya is struggling with setting up the tent, and Minase is also struggling with lighting a fire. They complain about how difficult it is, and Naoya tells them that they would have to sleep in the open, and Minase adds that they won't be able to eat. Just then, they hear Milika's laugh. Everyone is not pleased to see Milika, but she knows how to build a tent and also help them light the fire. Saki is amazed. Milika also shows them how to cook with the fire. Saki is surprised to see Malika at the campsite and assumes it's a coincidence, but Naoya disagrees, suspecting that Malika followed them. Malika admits to sending them the free coupon and camping gear, explaining that she wanted to go camping with Naoya. Naoya is skeptical, thinking it's a trap, but Milika insists that she genuinely wants to be closer to Naoya and share her cooking with him. Risa confirms that Milika is infatuated with Naoya. Naoya recalls rejecting Milika harshly in the past, but Milika seems unfazed and offers food to Saki and the others. Naoya stops Saki from eating, fearing that Milika may have poisoned the food before. Milika assures them that she didn't drug the food this time, but Minase offers to cook for them instead. Saki acknowledges that they have a good chef with them. Despite trying to resist, Saki eventually gives in to the temptation of Milika's food, admitting that she loves pizza. Saki asks Minase for the food, but it turns out that it's burnt because Minase had trouble adjusting the heat. Malika reminds them that camp cooking isn't easy and boasts about her own cooking skills in popular camp cooking videos. Naoya tries to calm Saki down down, while Malika continues to boast about her culinary expertise. Saki's hunger gets the best of her, and she finally gives in, saying she doesn't care if the food is poisoned. She approaches Milika, and Milika agrees to feed her, but only after Naoya has had some because she made it for him. Saki urges him to eat and he agrees, taking a seat but hesitating before finally taking a scoop. Naoya compliments the food, and Milika is happy. Saki can't wait anymore and picks up her food, and the rest join in. They all agree that the food tastes good. Naoya asks Milika how she can be so indifferent after all he did to her on the day of the fireworks festival. Milika responds that it's because he's starting to like her. This surprises everyone, and Saki asks if she's out of her mind. She disagrees and says she's making an objective assessment. Saki tells Naoya to tell her, but Naoya is silent for a while, causing Saki to be concerned. He finally admits that Milika is right, leaving everyone speechless. Saki asks him again to confirm, and Milika laughs, saying that she knew it and that she just needs to keep it up, and someday she will have Naoya. Naoya gets a hold of himself and tells her it won't happen and that he's only a bit drawn to her, so it's fine. Saki hits him, telling him that nothing about what he said sounds fine. She keeps hitting him and calling him names while Manase tries to talk her out of it. Malika then tells Saki that maybe Naya gets distracted because of her violent nature. Saki considers what Malika says, but tells her that they've always been like that. Risa asks Malika if Naya already has a girlfriend, and Saki informs her that she and Manase are Naya's girlfriend. Risa is confused, and Milika explains to her that Naoya is two-timing them with their knowledge. Risa then asks Milika if she fell in love with a two-timer, and Milika tries to explain, but Risa figures that she was trying to take Naoya away from his girlfriends. Risa agrees, but mentions that even after asking him out, he has decided not to break up with them, concluding that he is stubborn, but that is one reason she likes him. Suddenly, Risa slaps Milika and calls her an idiot. She scolds her to go after someone who is successful and has good quality, and tells her to go for a good guy. However, Milika insists that Naoya is a good guy but is only two-timing. Risa doesn't agree with her. Saki interrupts them and asks why Malika was after another girl's boyfriend, and Risa agrees with her, scolding Malika for allowing Naoya to two-time her. Shino also told Malika that she was being a nuisance to Saki and Naoya and that she should move on. Milika refuses, but admits that she feels guilty for getting involved in their relationship. However, she believes she can't change the fact that she loves him. Her only option is to attack and break down the walls hindering her, so that one day she'll be able to be with Naoya. She informs Saki that it seems like there's already a crack in the wall. Saki is angry and says that she will never let Naya and Malika be alone together again, and Manase agrees. Naya wakes up and Saki threatens him to tell her what happened between him and Malika later. He agrees, but tells her that it's true that he's kinda drawn to Milika because of her beauty, but he would never do anything to make them sad. He's not able to complete his sentence as he falls asleep. Minace realizes that she's also feeling dizzy and falls asleep. Saki realizes that Milika drugged them, and Milika admits to it. Saki is upset, and Shino falls asleep next, then Risa, and finally Saki. Malika is satisfied with her achievement and proceeds to commence her plans. It's nighttime, and Malika has set up a fire with Naoya cuffed to a tree branch but still asleep. Malika stands beside him and watches him while he's asleep. Naoya wakes up to find out that he's cuffed. He sees Milika and sternly asks why he's cuffed. He realizes that Milika drugged them and asks about Saki and Manase. Milika tells him that she took them to the tent to sleep, and he's relieved. Naoya asks why Milika would go this far. Malika explains that she has realized that the reason he is cold to her is because he is interested in her, so she has to figure out how to make him fall for her. Naoya tells her that that's not going to happen, and she insists that she just wants to be alone with him. Naoya tells her that he wants her to stop. Milika is surprised, and Naoya adds that he has no intention of falling for her. Malika brushes him off and tells him that he's already starting to fall for her. She's confident that she just needs to seduce him, and they'll figure out what to do next after that. Malika then undresses, surprising Naoya, who asks her why. Milika responds that she remembers that Naoya became distant towards her after they went to the hot spring together. Naoya doesn't deny it, and Malika proceeds to conclude that her body turns him on. Naoya then denies, and Milika is confused. He asks her if she'll be happy having him attracted to her just for that. Malika tells Naoya that her body is a result of her hard work and reflects who she is better than anything else. She hopes that he will fall in love with her because of it. Naoya is left speechless. Monica then asks if he started noticing her when they were talking normally on the festival day. She puts her clothes back on and suggests they talk all through the night. She has prepared a lot of food and invites him to share a meal and talk. Milika sits beside Naoya and tells him that she enjoyed their last conversation even though it was just for 5 minutes. Milika confesses that she wants to get to know Naoya better so she can fall in love with him, but then corrects herself, saying that she meant to make him fall in love with her. Naoya admits that he is more interested in her now than he was at the beginning, but he is already in love with his two girlfriends. He explains that he hurt Saki by falling in love with Manase and doesn't want to hurt both of them. Naoya then tries to pull his hand in an attempt to break away from a tree branch. He continues pulling, and Milika asks him to stop as he is only hurting himself. He ignores her and tells her that if she does something like that again, he will reject her no matter what. Naoya succeeds in breaking free and continues to tell Milika that he would do things that would seriously hurt her feelings for the sake of his girlfriends, and his mind is already made up. He gets up and walks away, but before leaving, he tells her to promise that she will give up on him. Milika is silent for a while, then suddenly cuffs herself to Naoya, saying she loves that he's so upright. Naoya is taken aback. Naoya asks what Malika's aim is, and she replies that she's not done with him. Naoya tells her that he's going to start taking drastic actions if she doesn't give up on him. Milika doesn't care and responds that she wants to spend as much time with him as she can to take her relationship with him as far as she can. Naoya misunderstands Milika, but she corrects his idea of her. Milika then shows Naoya the key to the cuffs and puts it in her shirt, thinking Naoya would not be able to get it. She tells him that he should just accept that he can't get away. She then asks for his hand so she could treat his injury, but Naoya disagrees and suddenly sticks his hand in Milika's shirt, surprising her and leading her to punch Naoya. When she asks him why he did that, Naoya tells tells her that he is determined to reject her with full force if she's going to be aggressive. Malika struggles to get the key from Naoya as he's telling her that he only has eyes for Saki and Manase. Naoya begs Malika to stop because she's just going to get hurt more if she keeps going after him. Malika tells him that she has been prepared to be hurt from the start. She goes on trying to get the key from Naoya while also telling him that the moment she fell for him, she knew it wouldn't be a simple crush and it would likely be unrequited. Naoya protected her Metu channel, and that's another reason she loves him. She also loves that he's so loyal he wouldn't give her his time no matter what. She recalls their conversation in the hot tub and mentions that she loved him even more when he confessed that he enjoyed her videos despite the trouble they caused him. Malika attempts to kiss Naoya, but he dodges, leaving her frustrated. She then pushes him down, snatches the key, and explains that her YouTube channel wasn't doing well, with stagnant views and various other issues. However, she didn't give up and tried everything she could. She confesses that she eventually resorted to revealing cleavage to earn views, admitting that it's lame, but believes it's even lamer to give up. Malika tells Naoya that she doesn't care about what others think and loves that part of herself. She expresses her willingness to endure pain because she won't give up on him. Naoya is speechless, and then Malika receives a notification. She asks Naoya to look at the sky, and they both marvel at its beauty. Malika tells Naoya that they have just crossed midnight and informs him that it's her birthday. Naoya is surprised as he didn't know, and Malika continues to say that she's been to all kinds of places to make videos, but the night sky there is the prettiest, so she wanted to see it with him on her birthday. Naoya softly tries to convince Malika to stop trying, but Malika tells him that she doesn't mind if he rejects her again or if their relationship doesn't end well. She chooses to live a life full of many memories with him, and that is who she is. Meanwhile, inside the tent, Manase and Shino try to wake Saki, who thinks that it's time for dinner. Shino tells her to get a hold of herself, and Manase explains that they were drugged by Milika, and when they woke up, Naoya was missing. They suspect Milika must have abducted him. Saki cannot believe it and yells that they should look for them. Back in the bush, Naoya asks to clarify everything Milika has said, and she confirms it. She adds that no matter how much Naoya avoids her, she would do anything it takes to go after him. Naoya considers reporting to the police, but Malika tells him that he should not, as she'll do it in a way that is barely legal. She tells him that even if she gets hurt or miserable, she'll not give up on him. Naoya figures that there is no point in hurting Milika and asks her what she will do if after everything he doesn't fall for her. Milika thinks for a while and tells him that if she runs out of ideas, she'll give up, but warns him not to expect her to give up so easily. She tells him that there are so many things she would like to do with him, like going on dates and making videos together. She's also determined to show him everything she likes about herself, like her cleavages and underwear. Naoya asks if that's all she wants to do, and Milika adds that she also wants to live with him. She says that if she can't, she'll set up a camp in his yard again. Naoya stands and gives Milika permission to go ahead. He tells her that she can do anything she wants to try to seduce him. Milika is speechless as she didn't expect it. She asks to be sure that he means it, and he confirms that she can do anything. Naoya also says she can live with him, but he'll also get the chance to look at her cleavages and panties and do anything that is not naughty. Milika wonders how he can say all that with a straight face, but asks again to confirm, and he agrees. Milika is happy, but Naoya tells her that there's a deadline of 5 months. He also tells her that in exchange for setting a deadline, he'll stop avoiding her and he'll pay attention to her. Milika remembers their interaction at the festival. Naoya tells her that he wants her to do everything she wishes with him and will accept her, then reject her properly. He also mentions that until he can reject her, Saki and Manase would be worried. He concludes that he needs to face her properly before he rejects her. Milika tells him that he's always extreme and he could have just rejected her, as she knows she's being a nuisance. She wonders how he can be serious about it, but admits as she uncuffs herself that that is one of the things she likes about him. Milika tosses the key to Naoya and accepts the 5 months, saying she'll melt him into a puddle. She also says that they're going to do so much in the period and tells Naoya to be prepared. Naoya uncuffs himself and wishes Milika a happy birthday. He brings a table of food and suggests they eat together and watch the stars, but reminds her that Saki and Manase might be worried, so they can't take too long. Malika is happy and asks him to taste the cake. When he does, Naoya tells her that he loves the cake. Afterward, they sit and stare at the sky. Milika asks if the sky is as pretty as she is, and Naoya agrees. Naoya then decides to head back to Manase and Saki, and Milika follows him. Saki expresses that they are in trouble for being lost in the dark in their search for Naoya. Saki tells Manase that Milika might do naughty things to him. Manase tells her that she doesn't think Naoya would fall for it, but Saki tells her that Milika may do it to him while he's asleep. Manase tells her that she doesn't think Naoya would fall for it, but Saki tells her that Malika may do it to him while he's asleep, and Manase asks if it's possible. Saki is embarrassed but says that guys can get excited while they're asleep. Shino tells them that they should be more worried about Naoya, and Saki says that she can forgive Naoya if he is asleep while Milika violates him. Saki is tired, and just then, they hear Naoya call out to them. They're happy to see him, and he informs them that he went to the tent and they weren't there. He asks if they're okay, to which they agree. Saki also asks if he's okay and if Milika did anything to him. Naoya is confused as to what she means, but as Saki explains what she means to him, Milika hits her and asks why she would think such. Naoya takes the opportunity to tell them about him and Milika. He explains that some things happened, and Saki punches him, asking if he's seeing 3 people at the same time. Naoya denies this and clarifies that he's not trying to date multiple people, but rather trying to get Milika to give up on him. Saki is relieved until Naoya drops the bombshell that he plans to live with Malika until the end of the year and go on dates with her, allowing her to do whatever she wants for the next 5 months. Saki interrupts him by hitting him and sends him flying. Minus holds her back as Saki yells at Naoya. Naoya explains that he's doing this because Milika would not give up otherwise and is going to cause him to worry when she gets reckless again, so he has decided to give her a chance and made her promise to give up on him if he doesn't fall for her. Milika expresses confidence that she can make it happen, but Naoya asserts that he won't fall for her and promises to prove his love to the others. He admits that he's not confident confident about not falling for her, but he knows he'll love them more. Minase is relieved, and Saki finally agrees, upsetting Shino. Saki explains that once Naoya has his mindset, it is useless trying to talk him out of it. It's morning, and Saki suggests that they should enjoy camping instead. They have fun, and Saki says she's sleepy, so Naoya suggests they head back. On the train, everyone is asleep except Shino, who thinks to herself that she might be able to move on if she goes all out like Malika. She also wonders why Saki is so carefree, and admits that she would never go along with it if she was in Saki's shoes. Shino rests her head on Naoya's and thinks that she may be more serious about Naoya than Saki is, and that she doesn't have to hold back. Milika enters the house and announces that she'll be living there for 5 months. She says she's going to seduce Naoya by the end of the year. She then kisses him on the cheek as a starter. Saki asks Naya to tell Milika that what's wrong is wrong, but Naya says anything that's not the deed is okay. This disappoints Saki, Minase, and Shino. He says he'll let Milika do as she wants for the next 5 months because they promise that she'll move on if he hasn't fallen for her by then, and he plans on keeping it. Milika is shown to Naoya's room. She sits on his bed and says she'll be living there with Naoya. She adds that if he loses control and comes at her, it's alright too. Naoya says he won't, and Minase supports that he'd never do such a thing. Saki does too, but Shino isn't so sure. Milika then pulls Naoya to the bed and says they won't have a problem with her sharing a bed with him if they trust him. They disagree, but she still tries to convince them about sleeping with Naoya. Shino asks Naoya to just refuse, but he says again that it's okay. Milika is excited and suggests they start that very night. Naoya says he and Milika can't sleep together every night, that's too much. He proposes to have days when he's sleeping with Saki and Minase too. He then goes ahead to include Shino, saying that he wants to prove that he would never mess with another woman. Saki agrees, as far as Milika gets fewer days. Naoya says that the next 5 months aren't going to be easy, but even as he confronts Milika, he'll work on fostering a deeper love and trust with Saki and Minase. Saki suggests that they play rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets the sleep with Naoya first. Shino wins. At night, Naoya puts sheets on the ground to sleep in. When Shino comes in, he apologizes to her for the situation and offers her his bed. Shino takes off her pajamas to reveal her nightgown. Naoya is shocked, but she asks him not to get the wrong idea that it's to test that he won't mess with another woman. She asks if he wants to do anything, but Naoya says he's good and goes to bed. Shino is embarrassed, but goes ahead to lie down beside him. She says she needs to get a little more confirmation Saki asked her to. Naya says she's too good of a friend. She asks once more if he wants to mess with her. He contemplates but still maintains his stance. Naoya then says he wants her to test him more for Saki. He wants to challenge himself to see if he can resist messing with her. Shino is embarrassed, but he begs. She tries twice, but he's still good, so she finally drops the gown from her body and asks if he'll ever consider her. Naoya puts her shirt over her body and apologizes for pushing her too far. He adds that he's still not good enough as he can barely contain himself because she's so attractive. He then proceeds to ask her to help him train in resisting temptation. Shino is happy that she has a chance with him. The next day, they play rock, paper, scissors again. Milika wins this time. She's excited and says she'll seduce the hell out of Naoya. Saki reminds Naoya not to mess with Milika. He says he knows and will prove himself. He adds that he was just barely able to hold on the previous night when he slept with Shino. Saki and Milika are surprised and ask what Shino did, but she says she did nothing really. Saki calls Naoya a lust monster, and he says she might be right. Saki turns to warn Malika, but she's not there anymore. Malika is panicking at the thought of Naoya being a perv. She was just going to seduce him to make him notice her because she thought he wouldn't actually do anything to her, but now, if he could barely hold on against forehead Shino, a super cute, a busty girl like her would definitely get attacked, and it wouldn't be right doing that before they're in a relationship. But she still thinks her time alone with Naoya is precious, and she resolves to make him realize that she's not that easy. At night, Naoya prepares himself for Milika's naughty moves. However, Milika comes in a bear costume. She explains that she's wearing the outfit to hide her curves so he doesn't get any weird ideas, and she'll be filming all night. She threatens to send the video to Saki and Minase if he tries messing with her. Naoya says he understands, and that if he were to succumb to his desires and make a move on her in any way, he'd have to take full responsibility by spending the rest of his life with her. Milika wants that, so she adds that if he wants to do naughty stuff with her, he'd have to dump Saki and Minase and go out with her for 3 months. Naoya refuses, saying that he cherishes his girlfriends. Milika then unbuttons the costume, revealing her bust. She tries to entice him with them, but he still refuses. Frustrated, she says if she asks if he likes her or hates her, and he says he likes her, she'll take it. Naoya says she's way too easy. He tells her that he wants her to value herself more. She apologizes, and he helps her to the bed. He then adds that if he had to choose between liking and hating her, he'd like her. Milika is happy and goes to bed. The next day, Minase recounts Naoya's day. Work starts at 4 a.m., and then at home, he helps with Milika's videos, then games with Saki, and goes straight to studying after. She thinks he must be tired. As they return from grocery shopping, she realizes he's sick. She suggests that he rest, but he insists that he's fine. At home, Minase goes to Saki to play the game to decide who's sleeping with Naoya. She asks Saki to play scissors, and Saki agrees, thinking that Minase wants to play paper and let her go first. She's surprised when Minase plays rock and wins. At night, Minase goes to Naoya's room. He tells her it's not that late yet, and he wants to study hard for them. She realizes he doesn't intend to rest and comes into the room like an angry nurse. Naoya is surprised at her costume, but is snapped out of it when she throws him from the chair to the bed. He tries to speak, but she refuses to hear anything from someone who can't take care of his own health. She checks his temperature with her palm and then uses a thermometer, noting that he has a fever. He questions why she used her hand despite having a thermometer, but she shuts him up and orders him to get in his sheets and take his supplements, which he does. She then orders him to call work and tell them he's taking the next day off. He hesitates, so she makes the call herself. Minase asks if he sees how angry she becomes when he doesn't take care of himself. He apologizes, but confesses that he kinda likes being scolded by her, adding that it feels like they're getting closer and he likes it. He also adds that she's cute in a nurse outfit with a miniskirt. She says if he's a good boy she'll wear anytime. Naoya yells that he'll have to be a good boy. The next day, Saki is thinking about her turn to sleep with Naoya. She decides that it's her chance to get way ahead of everyone else, as Naoya must have a lot of pent-up feelings. She then realizes that Naoya didn't go to work and asks about it. Minus explains that he wasn't doing well and was hiding it, so she called his work to let them know he's staying home, then took care of him. Saki is impressed at Minase's selflessness. She thinks Minase is a true heroine and she's an idiot and has to learn from Minase. At night, Saki goes to Naoya's room. She apologizes for taking so long and gives him erotic magazines, saying it's her way of expressing her love to him. She says she knows he's thirsty and has been holding back, so he can get some release with the help of the magazines. She tells him of how she went to the park and looked under bridges and stuff to find them instead of faking her age at the convenience store. She then asks him to think of it as her and use it a lot. Naoya is glad that she thought of him and says he'll use it a lot. While scanning through, he realizes he might end up with a habit of lusting after women, and it increases the risk of 3 timing. Saki sees that too, but she still wants to help him find a release. He has an idea and asks if he can take a picture of her. She thinks he wants to use her photos and lets him. It's embarrassing, but she thinks it might be better than having him excited about other women. After all, he's going to be thinking about no one but her. Naoya goes to the table and fixes a cutout of Saki's face to replace the face on the magazine. Saki hates it and punches him. Naoya thinks women are so complicated. Saki and Shino are looking at the beach booklet while Minase's busy cooking and Naoya is studying. Milika comes out announcing that she's finished with her laundry and she hangs her bra openly. Saki and Shino find this unpleasant, believing it to be a shallow attempt to get Naoya's attention. Naoya and Minase join them, curious about what's happening. Saki asks Naoya for his opinion and he admits that it's a bit exciting. Annoyed, Saki throws the bra away. Naoya tries to defend himself, saying he would be even more excited if he saw either Saki's or Minase's bra. He then borrows Malika's smartwatch to measure his heart rate while looking at each of them. Although Saki argues against it, Malika shows her bra to Naoya first. His heartbeat increases to 86 BPM. Saki is upset, but Naoya assures her he would feel even more excited seeing both of his girlfriends. Minase then brings out her favorite bra, and Naoya is thrilled as she allows him to see something so precious. His heartbeat spikes to 220. Saki still refuses, stating that even if she surpasses Milika, she wouldn't want to lose to Minase. Naoya reassures her, saying he loves both of them equally, so the value should be the same. With her favorite bra in the laundry, Saki pulls out the one she's currently wearing. Naoya is excited, thinking it's fresh and likely still has her scent. His heartbeat increases to 220, leaving the girl surprised that it's actually the same value for both of them. Meanwhile, Shino secretly wishes to try as well. Milika, feeling upset that Saki and Minase topped her, attempts to take off her bra, but they move to stop her. Shino trips and falls on Naoya. Her bra ends up right in his face. Naoya's heartbeat begins to increase. As he sees that it's getting to 220, he punches himself, stopping it at 219 and surprising everyone. Malika says it's cheating, but Shino defends that it was just an accident. She thinks to herself about how she's right behind his girlfriends and wonders if it means she has a chance if she keeps living with him like this. Saki goes to Naoya with the island booklet she was looking at earlier. She expresses her interest in going to the beach and tries to convince Naoya that it's summer and not the time to be studying all day. He agrees and asks which beach they're going to. Saki says Hawaii. Naoya apologizes that he cannot afford Hawaii and she should choose somewhere domestic. Then she chooses Okinawa. They look up the cost and Minase offers to pay her own way, but Naoya says his savings from work can manage one night. Sank is excited. They're all going. Saki goes back to Naoya to discuss something important about the trip. She thinks one night won't be enough as they'll be going home the next day after they arrive. Despite understanding their tight budget, she asks for 2 nights so that they can at least spend a whole day having fun. Naoya agrees and wants to borrow money from Milika, but Shino stops him. She asks if he's out of his mind wanting to borrow, and from Milika of all people. Saki confronts Shino for interrupting, but Shino asks her to stop making silly demands. Saki still complains, so Shino calls her dad to confirm his permission. Then she tells him that they have permission to use her family's vacation home in Okinawa. Everyone is surprised her family is that rich, but they're happy. Naoya promises to repay her and says he'll do anything for her. Shino agrees and says she looks forward to it. Saki starts a discussion about what they want to do during their 3-day trip. Minase wants to check out the aquarium, while Shino prefers to sit by the beach and listen to the waves. Saki shares that she wants to play on the beach, eat delicious food, and, in fact, she wants to become a part of Okinawa itself. Only Naoya understands her. Saki continues, saying that on the beautiful beach during a pleasant sunset, she and Naoya will have a barbecue together. Minase is surprised that Saki isn't planning for a kiss and questions whether she has forgotten about her relationship. Saki scolds herself for getting too excited about the trip and forgetting that she is a lady in love. She declares that she and Naoya will share their kiss on this trip. Shino bets that Saki won't go through with it again and assures her that she doesn't have to try so hard. Saki asks if Shino doesn't want her to try, then assumes it's because she loves her too much. Shino, relieved, simply agrees. At that moment, Malika enters and claims she will be the one kissing Naoya. Minase chimes in, saying she wants to try her best too, not wanting Malika to get ahead of her. Saki accepts the challenge. They go shopping for swimsuits. Naoya picks out swimsuits for Saki and Minase. He chooses a school swimsuit for Milika, telling her that it's good to cover up sometimes. Milika wonders if he's one of those guys who prefer less skin exposure, and so she buys it. Shino eventually brings in her choice, but Naoya has already selected one for her as well, but so did Saki. Shino doesn't like Saki's choice, so she's left with hers and Naoya's. After some thought, Shino decides to buy the swimsuit Naoya picked and plans to say she likes the design if anyone asks why she chose it. She doesn't think anyone can find out about how she feels just from that. Malika approaches Shino and asks if she has a crush on Naoya. Shino initially offers the swimsuit excuse, but Malika doesn't believe her. Just then, Saki walks up to them, prompting Shino to pull Malika to the bathroom. Shino attempts to deny her feelings, but Malika insists that she already knows the truth and is aware of Shino's attempt to seduce seduce Naoya that night. After more pressure and threats, Shino finally confesses her feelings for Naoya, pleading with Milika to keep it a secret. She cannot let anyone find out that she has a crush on her friend's boyfriend. Milika agrees to keep Shino's secret but proposes an alliance. She wants Shino to ensure she gets plenty of alone time with Naoya during their trip and to do everything Milika instructs her to do. Shino thinks it's like slavery and refuses it. Milika reminds her that she has no say in the matter and promises to give Shino some time with Naoya as well. After thinking it over, Shino reluctantly agrees. Milika points out that while she pretends to be a good friend, she is actually trying to take her friend's boyfriend, which is pretty trashy. Shino argues that isn't the case, so Milika asks if Shino is open to a 3 timing, which Shino firmly declines. It dawns on Shino that she's unsure of her own intentions. Shino asks Milika if she isn't concerned about giving her a chance with Naoya, especially if he ends up falling in love with her. Milika mocks Shino for not even being able to confess her feelings and claims that she doesn't see Shino as competition. Offended, Shino insists she won't allow Milika to have him. The two argue for a while, but eventually, they agree to ally and shake hands on it. On the day of the trip, the girls are excited and off they go to Okinawa. Naoya, Saki, Minase, Shino, and Mirika are on a plane, ready to take off. Naoya panics because it is his first flight and he fears they might have an accident. Although he gets some consolation that the chances of the plane crashing are low, he's still anxious and promises to protect Saki and Minase no matter what. The plane ascends, and while Saki and Minase are excited, Naoya is still freaking out. Naya's panic continues throughout the flight, and Milika has an idea to help him. She quickly holds Naya's hands as a way of easing him up. Saki is annoyed and asks Milika to go away, struggling to move her. Milika subtly signals Shino to come to her aid. Shino, who is bound by the deal she made with Milika to help her with Naya to keep the fact that she likes him a secret, is obligated to help. Shino advises Saki to allow Milika, adding that it might ease Naya. Illustrating, she suggests that they all help him relax. Both Saki and Minase are on board, and this makes Milika mad, but she joins anyway. Naoya, in that moment, admits his mind is calm and he is no longer panicking until there is an announcement on the plane. Learning the plane would be entering an eddy current, the panic is back. Naoya quickly holds all of them together, hoping to cushion their fall, even as Saki urges him to stop. Shino, seeing as staying too close to Naoya might escalate her feelings for him, asks him to let go, and Saki looks at her as though noticing something. Naoya doesn't let go and promises to protect them all, and Milika is liking this. The turbulence is soon over, and they're all relieved. The plane finally lands at their destination, and judging from the experience, Naoya admits he hates aeroplanes. They take a bus to Shino's vacation home, and Saki and Minase admire the view and beach as they pass. Naoya compliments Saki and Minase, saying that although the water is pretty, they are both prettier. The house is really huge and impressive, and they are amazed. Shino feels uncomfortable when Saki and Naoya exaggerate their gratitude. Milika is excited and hurriedly asks Naoya to go to the beach, but Saki stops them. Saki asks Naoya if he has been looking forward to their swimsuits, and he affirms. She then asks Minase and Shino to join her in changing for the beach. Minase asks Naoya to wait for them, and he replies saying he'll wait as many hours as it takes. They soon join Naoya, who is setting up a shade at the beach. Saki tells Naoya they wore the swimsuits he picked, and Minase asks him for comments. Despite the fact that he chose the swimsuits, Naoya is still in awe as he sees them. He says they are 3 times better than he expected. He compliments how good-looking Saki and Minase are, and tells Shino he never thought she'd wear a swimsuit he chose for her, adding she was amazing. Shino tries to cover up by saying she just happened to like the design, and Saki says, disappointed, that she wanted to see the maid bikini. Naoya compliments Mirika, but with less enthusiasm than he did with others. Mirika is surprised and thinks the swimsuit she's wearing might not be to his liking. Naoya reassures her that he's not a creep. Feeling uneasy, Mirika decides to change into something she thinks Naoya will find more alluring, and also plans a strategy meeting with Shino. Minase excuses herself to set up lunch, and Saki offers to help, but Minase insists she'll manage. This leaves Saki and Naoya alone. As they sit by the beach, Saki expresses her hope of making good memories on the trip and whispers to Naoya that she hopes they get to kiss. Saki then quickly goes for a swim, breaking the tension. When Saki leaves, Minase joins Naoya and takes him aside to have a private conversation. She shares that she has something she wants to achieve during the trip. Naoya misunderstands and asks if she's in heat, but Minase quickly denies it. She explains that she wants to make Saki really happy about the trip. Naoya is eager to help and asks why Minase feels this way. Minase expresses her gratitude to Saki for being good to her and shares that she's always wondered what it would have been like if Naoya had someone else as his girlfriend instead of Saki. She says she has been really happy every day and that her dream of being with Naoya forever might actually come true. She feels it's possible now. She believes this is because Saki treats her as an equal, adding if it were anyone else, and she begged to be in a 2-timing relationship. She doesn't think it would have been as fun as it is now. Minase adds that Saki has been looking forward to the trip and she might be able to repay Saki if she could at least make it memorable for her. Minase, seeing Saki happy, would make her happy as well and ask for Naoya's assistance. Naoya is really touched and excited. He hugs Minase, asking what he could help with. She asks Naoya to kiss Saki during the trip, adding that she'll handle the good food, and he agrees after considering. Naoya asks if Minase is okay with him kissing Saki first, and Minase frankly admits she may not have been before, but now she'll be happy to see Naoya kiss Saki. Naoya is relieved and hugs Minase once again. Mirika and Shino watch from a distance, listening to the conversation. Mirika is annoyed, saying Minase is ruining things. She says if Naoya is going all out, she can't just assume it's not going to happen. She can't let Saki and Naoya kiss, and asks Shino in on the plan, threatening to expose her secret if they fail. She adds that Shino should help hook her up with Naoya, and Shino has no other choice but to agree, since she doesn't want her secret that she likes Naoya revealed. As they all sit under the shade, Naoya makes a bold move, asking Saki out to some nice place, though not disclosing the reason. Everyone but Saki knows, and she agrees. Mirika holds Naoya just before he moves, saying she can't let him be alone with Saki. Naoya struggles to break free, and Mirika signals Shino to help her, but Shino disapproves. She thinks since Naoya's intentions are obvious, it will be too suspicious if they try to stop the kiss. As Naoya releases himself, he promises to make time for Mirika later, and he leads with Saki. Mirika blames Shino for letting them leave, although there was nothing she could have done. She says Shino didn't care much and threatens her by attempting to tell Minase her secret. Shino stops her and quickly runs into the water. She takes off her swimsuit, tosses it further into the water, and screams for help as it floats away. She specifically asks for Naoya's help, stating the possibility of her swimsuit getting washed away and her getting swarmed by party bros who will take pictures of her and blackmail her. Naoya buys this and quickly runs to the rescue. After he retrieves her swimsuit and she wears it to ensure he doesn't get away, Shino holds Naoya down, pretending she can't move because her leg is cramped. Naoya tries to help by holding Shino, but just then her leg actually gets cramped and she instinctively gives him an uppercut. Naoya is knocked out and Mirika and Shino help him out of the water. Shino and Mirika take Naoya back in and Mirika tapes him to a bed. After Mirika confirms the room can be locked, she gets the key from Shino, who is still exhausted. Shino wonders why she is in this with Mirika. Given that Shino likes Naoya, Mirika asks if Shino would have just watched Naoya kiss Saki if she hadn't told her what to do. She says that personally, she could never let that happen before Shino can reply. She adds, as she makes Shino leave, that Shino is so caught up in hiding her own feelings that she has lost sight of something more important. She says it isn't her problem though. These words get to Shino as she just stands outside. Mirika is excited because of the advantage she has with Naoya being trapped alone with her. Shino, from outside, can't help but get worried about what Mirika is going to do. Naoya is still tied to the bed while Milika stands over him in the locked room. Shino is banging on the door and calling out to Milika when Saki and Minase arrive. Shino informs them of what has happened and Saki becomes angry. Saki asks Shino if she has the key, and Shino replies that there's a spare key, so they go to look for it. Naoya finally wakes up and realizes that he has been abducted since he was tied to the bed with Milika standing over him. As Milika jokes about it being legal if done by a pretty girl, Naoya asks why she's doing that again. Milika bluntly replies that it's because Naoya is planning to kiss Saki. Naoya justifies that he's dating Saki and that there's nothing wrong with trying to kiss her, but Milika snaps at him, saying it'll be hard to get them to break up if he kisses Saki, as she'd become more precious to him. Milika adds she won't want to be involved in a love triangle and offers Naoya a kiss instead. Following the promise she made to Naoya, she goes for just a peck, but feels the need to do more after seeing Naoya's reaction, though she still avoids his lips. Her goal is to make Naoya obsessed with her, but it's not working. Despite her desperation, she can't stand the thought of Saki kissing Naoya. Shino overhears Malika's determination while standing outside. Just then, Saki arrives with the key, and Milika hears them coming. She escapes through the window just before Saki bursts into the room ready to throw hands. Saki is angry at first but calms down when Minase arrives with some food. While Saki, Minase, and Naoya are preparing to eat, Malika and Shino regroup to make a plan. Shino recounts what Malika told her in the room and Milika's determination. With a sigh, she says she couldn't be as shameless as Milika. After Shino clarifies her intentions with Milika, who misunderstood, Milika asks if she has any ideas on how to stop Saki and Naoya from kissing. Off the top of her head, Shino suggests that they make them eat lots of garlic. It is a good idea, and Shino gets to it right away, cooking a garlic-filled meal. Shino asks if Milika would have gotten in Saki's way if she was Saki's friend, but forgets about it since she assumed the answer already. Milika, although upset because of the assumption, agrees she would. She further adds she doesn't care about anything but what's important to her. Just then, Milika's garlic food is ready, and she runs off to give it to Naoya, who hesitates despite being forced. Shino is away from the others, standing by the waters and staring at the ribbon Naoya gave to her. As she wishes she had the same resolve and courage Milika has, she holds the ribbon to herself and says Naoya's name. Naya immediately pops up as he hears his name. Shino is surprised to see Nayaya there and asks what he was doing there. Nayaya says Shino was acting cold and asked if she needed anything, seeing as she called his name. Shino denies calling Naoya and says it must have been in his head. Naoya notices the ribbon and appreciates her for keeping it all this time. He adds that Shino is kind for looking out for Saki as well and for lending them her vacation home. Naoya says this is how he thinks of Shino and that she matters to him, further saying he's available to help whenever she needs it. As Naoya continues to thank Shino for choosing to attend the same school as Saki, even though she could have gone to a better one, Shino thinks to herself about the truth. It was never really about Saki. Shino stayed in school to be close to Naoya and even lent her vacation home because she thought she could have more chances with Naoya if they stayed longer. She hates herself for this and calls herself pathetic. Before their conversation could go anywhere, the winds intensify and Shino's ribbon gets blown off into the water. Without hesitation, Shino jumps in after it. The waves are high, and just after Shino gets hold of her ribbon, the waves take her in. Naoya jumps in after her, rescues her, and takes her ashore. Just as they catch their breath and are ready to head back to the others, they realize that they are on an uninhabited island. Shino's imagination makes the most of the situation as she thinks this might be an opportunity for her to get closer to Naoya. She imagines living with him for the rest of her life and eventually having children if they cannot make it back. Naoya finally spots the main island, but it's too dark to swim back. He suggests that they both spend the night there, and Shino agrees. Naoya asks about the ribbon, and Shino confirms that it is safe. Shino realizes her mistake and apologizes for putting them in the situation they are in. Naoya feels it is his fault, since he swam in the wrong direction, and apologizes as well. Since they're both at fault, they call it even. Naoya says he's pleased to see that she cares for the ribbon, and adds that they should get back safely the next day and apologize to the others. Since they're on an uninhabited island, Naoya suggests they make the most of it. Naoya asks why Shino is so attached to the ribbon, but she quickly cuts in agreeing to making the most out of their stay. Shino says the first step to survival is securing water, and Naoya spots a coconut tree. Shino Shino volunteers to climb and get some, but she slips and falls on Naoya. She quickly gets off and apologizes, as does he. Spotting a coconut on the ground, Shino picks it up, but a tree branch tangles with her swimsuit and pulls it down. Shino quickly adjusts her swimsuit and wonders why she always feels this way around Naoya. She tries to explain that she isn't always like this, and Naoya says he knows. He adds that Shino is adorable when she is like this, which surprises her. She asks why Naoya says things like that to everyone, and he replies that he doesn't say it to just anyone. Just as Shino is trying to suppress feeling flattered and happy, a viper approaches. Naoya grabs her hand and they start running. Although surprised, Shino reciprocates the grip and is finally smiling. She wishes she could be with him all the time. Naoya and Shino are now back at the shore, panting and still holding hands. Naoya realizes and quickly lets go, apologizing, but Shino says she doesn't mind. Shino starts sneezing, and Naoya thinks it must be because of her damp swimsuit. He asks her to take it off, promising to look away and to make a campfire. When she finally agrees, Shino takes off her swimsuit, thinking to herself that she doesn't want her time with Naoya to end uneventfully. Remembering all Malika said to her, she realizes nothing will change if she keeps on hiding her feelings for Naoya. She summons up courage, moves out, and leans her back against Naoya's as he builds the fire. She says she is cold and explains it would be warmer if they stayed together. Though Naya agrees, he says it isn't safe for her to lean on a guy who isn't her boyfriend the way she was. He states that if it were someone else, she would be in trouble. Shino asks Naoya if he is safe, and he affirms, so she keeps on leaning. As Shino sits there, she feels Naoya's warmth and wonders if his heart is racing as well, even just a little. She wonders what to do next, and just before she can make an attempt to get closer, Naoya asks to confirm if she is warmer. Shino realizes she isn't heading anywhere and decides to make a bold move. She tells Naoya that there's someone she has had a crush on for a long while. Naoya is surprised but ignorant of who she's referring to. He asks if Saki knows, and Shino replies she doesn't. Shino says she could never tell anybody, but she wants Naoya to know. Naoya asks if she has told this person she likes him, but Shino replies that she'll only be causing trouble for the person and the person he cares about. Shino admits that she has been trying to give up on her feelings, but she just can't. She regrets falling in love in the first place, even though she can't help but fall more. As memories of her time with Naoya play in her head, she expresses her desire for this person to love her back, but she is afraid to let the person know. As the fire finally starts, Naoya quickly moves Shino closer to it. Naoya confesses that he admires Malika's determination in pursuing what she wants without regard for anything else, but he also thinks Shino is amazing for caring about what is important to her, even if it hurts her. Shino notices that Naoya's palm is blistered from struggling to build the fire. Touched by his actions, she breaks down in tears and asks Naoya why he would do this, with her face just over his. Naoya responds that he's just doing what he wants to do. Caught in the moment, Shino can't hold back and kisses Naoya. Naoya is still in shock and just stares with his eyes widened. Just then, Shino realizes she has taken things too far and quickly stops. She thinks of what to say as Naoya tries to overcome his shock and asks what that was. In the heat of the moment, Shino, unsure of what to say, reveals it was her first time and quickly regrets saying that. She is still looking for an excuse when she remembers what Malika told her. Shino stops to reconsider if she should tell Naoya how she feels. Although she is scared, she feels this is her only opportunity and that she may never be able to do so again if she doesn't tell him now. As she begins to utter the words, Naoya quickly draws her attention to the fact that she is naked. Shino screams in shame and flees back into the bush, and Naoya apologizes. In her mind, Shino questions what is wrong with her and why she is always like that around Naoya. Naoya, after sitting quietly for a while, asks Shino if the kiss that just happened was a mistake and if her hand slipped. Shino doesn't really give an answer, so Naoya believes it was a mistake. He adds, he can't imagine she would have done that on purpose, and she agrees. Shino is thinking to herself that their relationship won't go anywhere and that she will just keep to herself. Naoya suggests that Shino warms up by the fire while he goes to get more wood. As he is about to leave, Shino blurts out that it wasn't a mistake. Naoya freezes in his path upon hearing this. Just then, Shino slumps. Back at the main island, Saki, Manase, and Milika are searching for Naoya and Shino. They have been searching for a while, and Saki stops to catch her breath. She is tired and worried. Manase approaches and tells her that she can't find them, but they have left their phones. This causes Saki to worry even more. Malika joins Manase, panting. She tells Manase that someone has allegedly seen Naoya and Shino get washed away. It is now morning, and back at the uninhabited island, Shino is still unwell. She has a fever, and Naoya is looking after her. He fears that her fever is just getting worse. Shino tries to tell him it is just a cold since it has been chilly the previous night. She apologized for the trouble and for causing him to stay up all night to take care of her, but Naoya told her it wasn't her fault. Shino tells Naoya that he is kind, and she appreciates that he didn't question her about what happened the previous night. She suggests they head back because the others must be worried. Naoya asks her to sit back while he swims back to get help. Shino faintly protests, worried that it would cause him more trouble, but then she slumps again. She is breathing heavily and sweating excessively, showing signs of a heat stroke because she caught a cold after diving into the water. As Shino thinks about how much trouble she has caused Naoya, he lifts her and dashes into the waters, swimming with all his might to haul her back to the beach. Shino mentions how far and dangerous it is, but Naoya insists that she needs to get to the hospital quickly if she indeed has a heat stroke. He adds that there's no time to leave her behind and go look for help as he continues to swim vigorously. Naoya tells Shino that he wants to help her and asks her not to worry about him. Shino says to herself that she will try harder to be more honest with Naoya because she wants to be with him even more. Finally arriving at the shore, Naoya is all worn out. Although Shino was up before him, Naoya asks if she is alright. She warmly replies positively. Naoya suggests they head back to the others, and Shino was about to address what happened the previous night when Seiki calls them from a distance. When she finally arrives, Saki looks really worried and asks Naoya how he is. Naoya apologizes for making Saki worried and says he's alright. Saki is really relieved and bursts out in tears, saying saying she has been searching since the previous day. Shino, surprised, realizes she had it all wrong. She had never seen Saki look like this before. She reconsiders, thinking if Saki is actually serious about Naoya. The thought that maybe she is more serious about Naoya than Saki crosses her mind. Saki is relieved and asks Naoya to never disappear again. Finally, Saki kisses Naoya. Shino just stares in realization, and in her thoughts she calls herself an idiot. Back at the vacation house, Naoya keeps apologizing to Saki for making her worried, despite the fact that she's fine now since he is safe. Manase admits she is glad Naoya and Saki are back to their normal lives while Shino just sits there staring at them. Malika is absorbed in Naoya's and Saki's conversation when Saki tells Naoya that things still worked out since they still got to kiss. Outraged, Malika asks why Saki and Naoya are acting off. Just then she realizes what she feared most must have happened and asks to confirm. Saki admits, subtly rubbing it in Marika's face. Malika only gets more upset while Minase hurries to congratulate Saki and Naoya. Malika goes to Shino's bed and confronts her about the deal Shino made to stop Saki and Naoya from kissing, and Shino simply apologizes. Minase is still questioning Saki about the kiss, and this pisses Malika off more. She pushes Naoya, Saki, and Minase out of the room, leaving her alone with Shino. Malika asks Shino about what happened, reviewing the threat she made about outing Shino's secret as if hinting Shino disregarded it. She asks what happened on the island Shino and Naoya washed up on. Though saying everything amounted to nothing, Shino tells Mirika all that happened, including the kiss, and Malika loses her mind. She snaps at Shino, regretting why she was worried about her, and expresses she feels like beating Shino up. Malika then asks Shino if she confessed. Naoya, Minase, and Saki are sitting in the main room. Saki mentions that she is hungry and suggests that they eat out, and the others agree. After discussing a few places they'd like to try, Manase brings up the idea of inviting Shino to join them, so they decide to head back to ask her. Meanwhile, Malika is still questioning Shino about whether she confessed to Naoya. Shino explains that she tried to confess but then fell sick, and Naoya ended up carrying her back. When they arrived, Shino saw Saki crying and decided not to tell Naoya how she feels. She thought Saki wasn't serious about Naoya, but now realizes she was wrong. Malika seems almost annoyed and asks if Shino is serious, to which Shino replies that it's fine now. As Saki and the others enter the room, Shino says there's something she wants all of them to hear. Shino mentions she's leaving their school. Saki is speechless. Shino adds she's transferring to another school, and everyone, including Malika, is surprised. Saki remains calm until Shino clarifies she isn't joking. Saki asks Shino why, and Shino replies that she doesn't think she should be around them anymore, joking she'll catch their stupidity and it will affect her future. Saki replies she has already caught it, and further says Shino's decision is sudden. She asks Shino if anything happened. Shino says she has done some thinking, still keeping Saki in the dark, and this annoys Saki. She says she has made up her mind, adding that she probably won't see Saki again, and asks her to take care of Naoya. She thanks Saki for everything, while the others just stand and watch. Shino mentions she'll be taking the next flight and is about to leave the room when Saki holds her back. Saki confronts Shino, and Naoya tries to separate them. Saki insists that Shino must not leave without revealing what she is hiding. Shino struggles with Saki as they exchange words. Shino refuses to speak about the problem, and Saki insists on getting an explanation. Shino asks why Saki is doing this and yells at her to leave her alone. Saki says she would rather fight Shino than let her leave without knowing why, emphasizing that Shino is her friend. Shino is deeply affected by Saki's words, but she finally manages to break loose and run out of the room. Naoya holds Saki back, urging her to stay calm, but she still resists. Shino sits alone on the beach, lost in thought, when Malika joins her. Malika questions Shino's actions, saying that she tried to leave without revealing her feelings and that Saki confronted her. Malika suggests that it would have been better for Shino to keep her feelings to herself if she feels guilty about telling Naoya how she feels. Mocking Shino, Malika asks how Shino couldn't figure that out and calls her dumb. Unable to hold back her emotions, tears stream down Shino's cheeks and she begins to cry. Malika continues to mock her. Shino, recalling her confrontation with Saki, admits that she didn't expect Saki to react so strongly. She shares that Saki sincerely confronted her, emphasizing their friendship. However, Shino reveals that it's because they are friends that she can't tell Saki that she likes Naoya. She can't confess that she has had these feelings for a long time, or that she only wanted to end the two timing so she could move on, not because she was worried about Saki. Shino can't bring herself to tell Saki that she kissed Naoya. Shino acknowledges that she has hurt Saki a lot and believes it's better to leave without saying anything. She decides to let go of Naoya and walks away, bidding Malika goodbye. Shino is at the beach with Malika. She says that Saki confronted her sincerely, but she can't tell Saki that she likes Naoya because they're friends. Shino believes she just needs to move on from her feelings. However, Malika insists that there's no way Shino can give up so easily. She thinks Shino is just saying that in the heat of the moment and will have second thoughts later. When Shino hesitates to respond, Malika asks if she didn't really like Naoya to begin with. Shino immediately affirms that she did. She recalls how she fell for him right away when they met in middle school. Although she held back because he was with Saki, she was just happy being around him. She still cherishes the picture she took of him and has used the ribbon he gave her for years. She even chose her current high school because he attends it. Malika agrees that Shino's feelings are quite intense and questions how she could simply give up on emotions like that. Shino decides to start by deleting the picture. Next, she attempts to throw the ribbon into the water but begins to sob. Feeling sorry for her, Malika says she will repay Shino for helping her get alone time with Naoya. She mentions that being in love is painful and that she has no obligation to support Shino, yet she promises to do her best. She encourages Shino but adds that she'll get rejected in the end either way. With that, Malika runs away. Just then, Naoya, Saki, and Manase arrive. Malika had texted Naoya. Shino sobs more and tries to run away, but Naoya stops her. He tells her that she's still hiding her feelings, and even he can guess what's going on. Although he hasn't shared it with Saki, he doesn't want to tell her based on his guess. Shino explains that she had misunderstood the situation, got ahead of herself, and made a mistake she shouldn't have. Naoya guesses that she's holding back for Saki's sake but asks her to open up anyway because. He continues to urge her and eventually Shino gives in to the pressure. She sobs that she didn't want to cause trouble for them and had been hiding her feelings for years. Shino is still hesitant, so Saki reminds her that her boyfriend asked to two-time her and all she did was smack him. Saki reassures Shino that whatever she's hiding, the worst that could happen is receiving a smack. Finally, Shino confesses her crush on Naoya. Saki is shocked, but Naoya's quick apology snaps her back to reality. She is upset that Naoya rejected her friend so easily. Manase points out that Saki is just confused and asks if she didn't see it coming. Saki replies that she thought Shino had a crush on her because Shino had always been really nice to her. She then hugs her friend and apologizes for not realizing that Shino liked Naoya too. They cry together. Everyone is sitting around quietly until Shino comes downstairs with her bag. She apologizes again, but Saki tells her she doesn't have to, though she isn't sure what to say. Shino asks them to stop walking on eggshells. Malika mocks her about how quickly she got rejected. Saki tries to intervene, but Shino says it's fine and leaves. Saki prompts Naoya to go cheer her up somehow. Naoya finds Shino along the beach. She mentions that she wanted to talk to him too. Meanwhile, Saki watches from behind a rock. Naoya apologizes for forcing her to confess in front of Saki and then rejecting her. He assures her that he'll do everything possible to prevent awkwardness between her and Saki. Shino confesses that she likes him and how diligent he is. She likes how he never gives up on things and how he looks at her directly. She likes how he likes Saki and likes his eyes. She kinda hates that he's two-timing though, but she just couldn't help wanting to be by his side. She then tells him she wanted to share her feelings properly when it was just the two of them. Naoya apologizes, saying he can't reciprocate her feelings. When Shino asks why, he explains that he wants to make Saki and Manase happy, just as she thought. Shino reassures him that it's fine and that she feels better, but she asks if he can make the two of them happy, if he could still have room for her as well. Both Naoya and Saki are surprised by this. Naoya says he guesses that's how it works, but Saki is not pleased and runs out to stop Shino. Shino apologizes. She knows she got rejected really hard and she's a complete idiot, but now that she knows it doesn't help anyone if she just holds back and hides her feelings, she wants to become Naoya's girlfriend too. Saki is left speechless. Shino asks for Saki's thoughts, saying she'll do her best to move on if it's an absolute no. Saki responds that it's all too sudden, so Shino asks her to think it over, but she won't give up until then. Then she leaves. Milika and Minase, who are eavesdropping, are surprised as well. As they return from their trip, Saki and Naoya are still flustered. When they reach the door, Saki finally asks what they should do. She turns to Minase, questioning whether it's not wrong for Shino to ask to be three-timed. Then she realizes she's asking the wrong person. Naoya tells her to calm down, but she can't. Their conversation is interrupted when Shino comes out of the house. She has been waiting with some sweets she made and asks Naoya to try them. Shino is cute, which bothers Saki. However, Shino reassures her that she won't stand in her way. In fact, she offers to support Saki. She tells Naoya that she'll help him study so he can pull off two-timing. Shino adds that he can ask her anything, and she will stay up all night to assist him every step of the way. Saki and Manase think it's incredibly attractive. Saki asks Naoya what he'll do, but before he could reply, Shino says she'll support three of them and won't steal him like Milika. She says he can think about her after he brings his girlfriend's happiness. Naoya can't think of a reason to refuse. Saki asks Shino if she's really serious. She is, though she knows she's an idiot and it's wrong, socially and morally. She's been talking down on two-timing the whole time too, but she likes Naoya, and even if she can't have him to herself, she still wants to be by his side. The girls are moved. Shino apologizes to Saki, then to Manase for lashing out at her. She realizes how Manase must have felt and admits that she was just jealous. Manase encourages her to stand up while Milika takes pictures of Shino. Naoya turns to Saki and asks what they should do. She replies that she doesn't know but tells Shino that she expects to be amused. Shino thanks Saki, promising to do her best. Then she approaches Naoya and says she will do anything to ensure his two-timing works out. She also reassures him that he shouldn't worry about his finances. Shino then tells Malika that she'll be at odds with her since she prefers to have Naoya to herself, but Malika seems unbothered. Saki suddenly remembers what she wanted to ask, the thing Shino said she should never have done. Both Shino and Naoya panic. Shino stutters as Saki insists on an answer. Naoya urges her to relax, but Saki refuses. Malika claims she knows what Shino did, but Shino decides it's best to confess herself. She admits that she kissed Naoya while she was naked and pushed him down. Saki is furious. She punches Naoya thrice for kissing Shino before her and continues to slap him repeatedly, calling him a filthy man. Deno intervenes, telling Saki that she snuck up on Naoya and it's not his fault. Saki then turns her anger towards Shino, calling her the filthy one. She's disappointed in Shino, who once again apologizes. Saki then says it could have been really bad if she hadn't already kissed him. Minase realizes she's the only one that hasn't kissed Naoya yet. Saki commands Shino to beg Minase for forgiveness, and she does. Minase says it's fine, she just didn't want Naoya so desperately that she'd act out of turn. She says she messed up and was a fool. Saki commands Shino to console her, and she does, telling Minase that it's okay to try to get ahead, and that she was kind for holding back for Saki's sake. Mizuka says to Minase that she's his girlfriend and still hesitating, that she'll never get a chance to do it, but Saki assures Minase that she'll kiss him someday. Saki suggests she kisses unconscious Naoya on the floor, but Minase defends that it won't mean anything. She then says she'll share a beautiful kiss with Naoya someday soon. She says she's fine, but Saki and Shino can tell that she's mad. Naoya regains consciousness and says she's so cute when she's upset. He then promises her a romantic kiss.